thing right now.
Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to white lights.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
Good morning, I guess, to those on the other hemisphere. I know it's a weird time we're doing this today, but I'll explain why we're doing that in a moment. Welcome to the Morning Dump. This is the No Way Jose podcast. I am your host, Jose Galison. It is Sunday. We don't normally do Sunday dumps, but here we are. Man, we have a lot of stuff going on, and I did tell you guys I'm picking up a shift tomorrow, so that's a big part of why we're doing this. I did not want this stuff to get buried because come Tuesday at the speed of things, it's like, boom, on to the next thing. So, hey, here we are. I'm talking to y'all, and we're doing it. And it's Sunday afternoon. I've had a pretty good day already. I mean, I've a nice relaxing day with the family. Morning breakfast, do this, do that. And we were getting ready to go do some stuff, and then the kids end up going over to their friends and doing this. So they're both out of the house, just me and the wife, and then just happened to work out. I was like, oh, geez, look at all this news. I wasn't planning on doing a dump this weekend, but lots of news. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I also am keeping in mind, if the fact I wasn't good, that I'm, if it wasn't for the fact I'm picking up a shift tomorrow, I would just save it till tomorrow. But I was like, no, this can't wait till Tuesday. A lot of big stuff, and I think it's important. It's worth going over. And hey, I have I'm also like I'm not like neglecting family or anything, because I did have like sort of a family time this morning, and then both my kids ran off to go hang out with their friends or whatever. So like, hey, I have some time. The wife's here, but she's doing some other stuff. We took some pictures of our kitty cats today, and so she's edited them up and this and that, and so like doing all the stuff, putting them out on Facebook for cute little photos and shit like that. So. But I'm here with y'all. We have plenty to go through. I told my wife we'd keep this under 2 hours. I'm going to try. Although I did send out an invite right before we started to somebody that I'm like, man, I hope I do hear back from in the course of this, because I would like for them to join. And let me see who it is. I'll explain it to you. There's someone who's already got a theory that I seen float out this today. And I don't know if it's some sort of like, I don't know if it's like, how do I put this? I don't know if it's some AI fuckery or trickery of the eye or camera or what. I'm not ready to commit to it, but I found a video today that a few people have tagged me, and then I'm like, dude, this is, for all the theories, whatever, I'm like, if this video that I'm looking at that they've got, I don't know what angle or how they've broken it down frame by frame, and you like end the theory, you're like, oh, geez, man, I don't know. So like, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's this theory that people have that this lapel thing he has something to do with his mic blew off. And I'm like, it sounds absurd on its face. And then when you look into it a little bit, you're like, fuck. You're like, I don't know, maybe like the angle. And you're like, I don't know, there's so much nerd shit. There was that one guy, they had the weird little thing, looked like he was pressing something in his hand or something. A lot of people thought he had some sort of weird handgun. You're like, but that would make more sense if you're just pushing something, waiting till the angle is right. I don't fucking know. You see the one frame where it jumps from one to the other, you go, you literally see the little thing, and then apparently this is actually, people have floated around, this has been a thing that you couldn't put like little C4 things in, stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, once again, I didn't want to jump onto it. I wanted the person to come on themselves, because it's like they're the techie, and it's like that way they could explain it. And then you're like, because you're like, this is kind of like, it looks legit to me. I'm like, am I looking at the smoking gun? Am I looking at the smoking gun right now? That's kind of what it looks like. You're like, maybe I'm just losing my mind. But it was kind of like, it just popped out today, or at least the first I've seen it today, and you're like, whoa. And I think the page that was doing it looked like he kind of pieced it together in the last few days, and he was like really trying. So I'm like, this guy is like, come on. I don't know what could happen with the way things are. So All right, let's go through some little bit of the stuff we like to do, a little icebreaker type stuff, I guess. We'll start off with a little funny. It's not a video, so sorry for the audio people. I usually do try to keep this to be something audio-wise, but I think the video or the people who watch the video will get a good giggle out of this. Just I had to share it with you guys. It's just funny. Here's a picture of, I guess, Drake. I guess it's not Oktoberfest yet, but he's already got his Oktoberfest drip ready. And so here is Drake in lederhosens. Chanel lederhosens, and I thought it was funny. I want to share it with you guys. It's an hilarious photo. I came across this last night, and I just laughed, giggled at it for minutes. So I just had to show you. My caption is nothing special. Really, the photo does all of it. I just said Drake's fucking kids in the Swiss Alps right now, but I know I just had to show it to you guys. I do like to try to make you guys laugh, but more serious now. This is Matt Gaetz. He had a pretty good little intro on his OAN show recently. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. It does tie into a lot of things going on. And it also did cover one of these Charlie Kirk clips that I haven't yet covered in kind of the continuing coverage of like, did he turn on them? Did he not? Whatever. Bear in mind, I think the statements in here are from like right around the time of October 7th. Because for those who remember, Charlie was, oddly enough, like seemingly the one standout like of the shill class, I guess you could say, that was like, this is wild, there's no way this is legit, and you're like almost threw up the false flag right off the jump, and you're like, whoa, he's your team player, and he's saying this is fucking bullshit right off the jump. It says some stuff. So I just want to seat that. It is interesting, the timing of that. And then he did kind of sort of end up falling in line a little bit as time goes on, but he did initially seem to be like, hey, in a weird position. So I don't know how to see this into everything, but at least so you're aware of the timeline when he makes these statements. Let's go and play it, though.
Charlie Kirk openly questioned the story Israel was trying to tell the world about October 7th.
I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an
all right, I guess sorry.
AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled.
I apologize for my internet. I don't know why it's being like this right now. Let me give it a second.
There's also another country that asked Qatar to support Hamas. It was Israel. In 2018, Netanyahu himself sent a secret letter to the Qatari leadership. In that letter, he urged Qatar to deliver $30 million a month to Gaza. He said this funding would help reduce the motivation of terror groups to carry out attacks, prevent a humanitarian crisis, and preserve regional stability. So in May of 2025, Netanyahu publicly admitted that since 2018, his government had allowed Qatar to transfer money to Hamas in Gaza, and that was according to his own request. That policy was approved by the full Israeli security cabinet. So if you believe Netanyahu himself, he went from asking Qatar to send money to Hamas to bombing Qatar for not extraditing Hamas.
He doesn't think this serves Israel's interests or the United States' interests.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Qatar just gifted the United States a $400 million jet. Israel sending bombs in return is one heck of a thank you note. On Capitol Hill, Florida Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz is deeply concerned about foreign governments running influence campaigns online in the United States.
It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all of that.
Well, that just sounds awful. We wanted to learn more about these foreign governments that Representative Moskowitz was talking about and their paid influence operations. And lo and behold, a foreign country has just signed a $45 million deal with Google to spread propaganda. It's Israel. If you don't care at all about Israel or Qatar, you should at least care about U.S. military equipment being used in the most stupid of ways. Israel has the F-35. Qatar has U.S. Patriot missile batteries. Is American hegemony in 2025 really watching our own air defenses shooting down U.S.-funded bombs launched from U.S.-made planes? This reminds me of Syria, when forces funded by the Pentagon were fighting forces funded by the CIA. This week, U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson held a meeting with AIPAC and Jewish leaders on Capitol Hill. Several reports out of that meeting suggest Speaker Johnson committed to screen potential congressional candidates to ensure they are aligned with the current policies of the Israeli government. I asked Speaker Johnson about this, and he offered this response on record exclusively to our program. When asked if he was going to screen candidates in this way, he wrote back, "No. Shocking that I would be misquoted. The discussion was about general support for Israel, which has obviously been declining. Christians are called to support the people and nation of Israel, but not necessarily its politics." Speaker Johnson didn't fall into this trap.
Those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. Is the nation
the
God's referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is.
I guess we can say this about Mike Johnson. He's probably got a higher IQ than Ted Cruz. Qatar is an ally. I know that because we have a U.S. military base there. Since Vietnam, no country that has willingly invited U.S. military bases has been bombed by U.S.-funded weapons. We see increasing evidence that Netanyahu wants forever wars in the Middle East. That's not good for Israel. That's not good for the United States. It's just good for Netanyahu. And his goals sound really awful.
But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard right government has a mandate. I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean, I don't use that term lightly, okay?
I mean, that one's pretty hard there at the end. That one goes a little hard. I was actually, that was a clip I found a little bit late in the game of all these clips going around, kind of trying to see where his positions were, and that threw me for a loop. Because, like, you know, pairing that with the October 7th thing. So I don't know, maybe... I mean, it's always we don't know what goes going on behind the scenes. I think we're going to know more. I have a little bit of commentary on some of the Erica Kirk stuff. She's getting ready to, I guess here soon, have a tell-all. We've had, so I don't know. I would say anticipate perhaps a rug pull, but at the same time, keep your heads on a swivel because, I mean, shit. Like I literally was like, when I was driving to go get coffee with my wife today, I was like just telling her, I was like, hey, I was talking about this stuff for some reason. I mean, she doesn't really pay attention to stuff at all, but I was just kind of like, vaguely explain the situation to her, and I was like, hey, just so you know, like if you were ever in a situation like that, like Erica Kirk's in, just say what the fuck you need to say. Like whatever it is, the thing that you think that people, if there are theoretically people out there you scared could do something to you, whatever you think needs to be said to, you know, just move on, and oh she's with the program, whatever you need to sell it, do it. Like, but at the same time, I'm saying this to the world, all of you out there in the world, if that ever happens, don't believe a fucking word she says. so like, because yeah, my wife's first priority once like my head goes to splat live on TV should be taking care of my children. So yeah, so keep that in mind. You know, before everyone starts spiking the ball that. I don't know, and to be fair, I don't know. That also could be comporting with the truth, whatever she says. Who knows? But I'm just saying, bear all that in mind and don't lose your fucking head when inevitably the crowd, well, not inevitably, I guess we don't know exactly how things are going to go. We'll see. But yeah, just don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, people. But all right, let's go through, say our good mornings, checking on y'all, even though it isn't really morning, but whatever. It feels like I should say morning. I know, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know that sounds too stuffy. Good afternoon, Wise Elk. Saying the right still crying over Charlie. They are not moving through the grieving process. The system, of course, infantilizes us to control us and is continuing to. Not a good sign, in my humble opinion. I'm going to be real. Yeah, I'm frankly just fucking, like, it's fucking gay. I'm going to be real. Like, you are grown men. I understand. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe... I guess it really depends. I don't know. I go back and forth on this. Now that I think about it, I'm like, if you were like someone who followed it a lot, you still would be very shooketh. I understand there are people who knew him personally, but I don't know. Maybe I find it stretches credulity that it was this ubiquitous, that this much performative outrage. Some level of this is just pure and utter faggotry. And it is like, it feels like an incredible excessive amount. I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it. Would you understand to what degree people are feeling things? But it's much. It's a bit much. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's literally I saw a video today of one of the MAGA rappers filling some fucking Charlie Kirk rap. Like, dude, at the fucking funeral type thing. like, come on. Like, there's like Arby's, fucking, Charlie Kirk, this and that. Like, it's I don't know. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. I don't know. Maybe call me the bad guy, whatever. But it's all a tad much. I'm going to go back to good morning because it just feels right. Good morning, Mike Mortal. I know it's not correct, but it is. We're going to pretend we're talking to people in the other hemisphere. I know it applies here, Black Eye. I think it actually might be morning for you for the first time. I know I do remember you're one of our Australian friends, I think. So he says, Josberg Brigade, good morning. Good afternoon, Conrail, good morning. Noname, good morning. Good morning, Sniper Gray. That's a new one, although it's a little bit ominous here in my chat. There's too many windows around me right now. Good morning, Boomer Sooner. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Noname says, we just found out Charlie Kirk is Superman. Yeah, we'll get into that. Good morning, Ryan Bradley saying my Jose 7th here. Yeah, it really nailed it today. I don't know, it's a bit much. If anything, I'm like leaning. My daughter makes fun of me and says I look like the berries and cream guy, and like today, I'm like, God damn it, I really do look a lot like the berries and cream guy. It's like kind of perfectly doing it. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. Good morning, Taffy Rumble. I didn't end up getting that haircut, by the way. I told you guys I might. They didn't have any walk-ins, and so my daughter had already an appointment, and there was no walk-ins, so whatever. And I'm not going to a barber because I need scissors because I got the long hair now. And I'm not trusting no barber with scissors. They can do fades, but I need to go to a salon because I got that pretty lady hair now. Good morning, Jeff Anderson. Good morning, Nevsky. Good morning, or you already said, or Conrail, I already said good morning to you, but you're pointing out we're going from a manifesto note that was destroyed, yet somehow recovered in an awful fanfic writing of a text conversation to a magical bullet. This stuff just keeps getting messier by the day. It's insane. It's insane. So, yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Tower Gang NPC. Good morning. Good morning, Eric Petty says, afternoon friends, got home from some after lunch fishing where I caught my PB largemouth, and what do you know, Josh is live. Hell yeah, happy Sunday, Eric. Glad to have you here. Glad you got some fish. It sounds yummy. I'm a little jealous. Every now and then there's like a place to make smoked fish down the road. Every once in a great while. They always have weird hours. I'll snag some. Some fish sounds fucking dope right now. Good morning, JC. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Am I missing anybody? Good morning, Robin Zabrat. It says, I know you have Newkins. I do. Good morning, DWS. Says, what kind of American are you, Jose? Sundays are for football. I'm not a sports ball guy. I played a lot of sports ball in my youth, when I was a young youth, but I don't do that no more. I mean, I do play ball. Like, my kids play soccer. My youngest is a soccer player. My oldest is a wrestler. Both girls. Both really girly. You'd be surprised, but yeah, I played football, wrestling, and soccer. I only got like 2 seasons of football though, so I can't really like lie and be like, I was an amazing football player. I really feel like I probably would have been good if I stuck with it, but because I could have been a good like fullback or some shit. But yeah, wrestling and soccer were my shit. But like I said, when I got older, I never was a spectator. I really I don't like watching shit. Like, I don't know. Other than I've gotten to the UFC. Like, I like UFC occasionally. Who else we got in here? Good morning, everybody. Scrolling through. Good morning, tipsters. It's almost midnight here. Ooh. Oh, yeah, you're over in, I forget where you're at. You're like Finland or some shit. Good morning, Rise to Liberty. Good morning. Oh, by the way, hey, I need to tell you, we're having Radix on Tuesday. If you could, I kept meaning to text you or DM you, but you're here and you're my producer. I know this isn't your job title, but let me know if you can. I know you do. Could you make us a thumbnail for that? Just take the normal Already Dead and maybe superimpose Radix's face or some shit. Just something simple. That's all I need. If you could do that, that'd be great. Appreciate it, bud. So yeah, I literally hadn't had time or keep forgetting to text you. So there you go. I'll probably still forget to do it later. If you don't do it, whatever. We'll just use the standard. Who else we got in here? All right. You guys talking a lot. All right, cool. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into some foreign policy. We have a little bit of foreign policy, not a ton. It is the weekend, so I normally... Oops, I didn't mean to exit out of it like that. We normally... we normally, when it comes to we normally kind of, I've told you before, I basically just straight up just steal from antiwar.com. And I tell you guys this all the time. Go to antiwar.com. They're great. Follow his YouTube channel. He does it great. So but I like to kind of cover it. I like to keep my head in foreign policy. So I do usually do what I call a foreign policy run through every day, usually around a half hour or so. Sometimes, especially with the way the world's been lately, it goes closer to an hour. But it's like a quarter to a half of the show typically. But today it's the weekend, and I think antiwar.com, I don't know, I think they do tone down the writing a little bit on the weekend, it seems, because usually it's not as much, so we don't have as much, so come Tuesday I'll probably have some more foreign policy stuff, but we do have a few little thingies got through here and there, so let's go through that. For example, the first one is Trump preparing a $6 billion arms package for Israel. So let's go through that. This is from Kyle Anzalone over at the Libertarian Institute. But, I sniped this from Antiwar. For those who aren't aware, antiwar.com, they write their own stuff, but they also pull from other places. So they just take the best news from wherever. It's really not aside from being anti-war, it's not political. You could see Chomsky stuff in here, and you could see stuff from, I don't know, I think Barrel Coop. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anything in it. I can't think. You know what I mean? There's right wing and there's left wing. There's whatever. They're all over the place. So great place to go. This is from Kyle Anzalone. So the White House informed Congress is preparing a massive arms sale to Israel, including attack helicopters and military vehicles. The weapons will be paid for with U.S. military aid. According to the Wall Street Journal, the total value of the weapons is $6 billion. Sounds a little much to me. The sale is $3.8 billion for 30 Apache helicopters and a $1.9 billion deal for 3,250 infantry assault vehicles. So, Washington will pay for the arms with foreign military financing. The U.S. provides Israel with at least $3.8 billion in military aid annually. So we're pushing through something that's 150% of what we're already giving them annually. Which, many such cases, who's surprised. Washington boosts assistance to Tel Aviv following the October 7th Hamas attack. In the first year of the Israeli onslaught in Gaza, the U.S. sent Israel nearly $18 billion in aid. The weapons will begin arriving in Israel in 2 to 3 years. So the $6 billion deal, they're not even going to reach these in 2 years. So, great stuff. We also got, we talked a little bit about this, I think, on Friday. But Trump is still kind of going on about the Bagram Air Base. That's the one in Afghanistan. Remember, during Biden's administration, that's when we left, and we had that whole big issue. Here is him on True Social. He says, if Afghanistan doesn't give Bagram Air Base back to those that built it, the United States of America, bad things are going to happen. President DJT. And then Mel here, he's been on the show before, great guest. Great follow. She says, the fucking Soviets built Bagram. What is he even doing anymore? So, I had a little bit of rant on Friday. I think it's just kind of this is ridiculous. For one, I think they use it something to do with China. That's why we need to go back. But, it's if you look at what happened during Biden's administration, us leaving, everyone got all upset about, what a waste it was of all these, lives and the way they botched the pullout. It's I don't know, I can't really imagine anything worse than literally going back. And that's kind of a spitting in their memory just to maybe replay this all over again. I don't know. And here is more. Here's him seeming to entertain the idea of boots on the ground here.
So are you asking President Carr to rule out U.S. boots on the ground to get Bagram back?
We won't talk about that, but we're talking now to Afghanistan, and we wanted...
Let me start it over. Sorry, I had the volume down.
So are you asking President Carr to rule out U.S. boots on the ground to get Bagram back?
We won't talk about that, but we're talking now to Afghanistan, and we want it back, and we want it back soon, right away. And if they don't do it, you're going to find out what I'm going to do.
Doesn't sound great. Did not want to seem to answer the idea about boots on the ground. And then on this, I cannot tell you how stoked I am that I am not in the military anymore. I know it's been a while, but man, shit's looking tough. Trump deployment in U.S. climbs to 35,000 boots on the ground. Although this is, I guess I misunderstood this one. I guess when I brought it up, I thought this was referring to going overseas, they're ramping up their deployments. No, they're talking about literally in the United States, so that's weird. I haven't really covered that much in this show. I still don't know what I I mean, I guess I do kind of know how I feel. I didn't really like it. Obviously, I know this whole like weird thing where he's having all these, moving the military into different, cities and stuff. It just feels like make work gay military nonsense, which especially me, with my past in the military, like it's like that is kind of like that's exactly not that I ever got to do shit like this, but it's like I can totally imagine that like that's some nonsense because I mean there are similar such things. The military just make you do some gay shit occasionally, and I can totally get how like it's just I guarantee you every single one of these except for probably the leadership is treating this like a fucking joke, and it's just completely a waste of money. But there is obviously the ominous side of this where it's like what is this? Not that I'm like concerned, I guess, that like troops are gonna like start firing on people or anything weird. Like, it just seems, I don't know, it just feels like a chilling. I don't know what to think of it. I don't live in the cities, so partially I also kind of don't give a fuck. So it's kind of like whatever, dum-dums, get out of the cities. But yeah, it is weird. It's very weird. Very, very weird that this is a thing that we're still doing. Especially when you see this, like, sure, I guess people, if you're someone who's completely bought the Kool-Aid and you love fucking Trump and he's the greatest and all this stuff, and then you're like, okay, I guess you could say, hey, he's doing everything I wanted. But then if you do go like, hey, maybe he's not the guy I want. Now it's the idea of him rolling troops into cities all over, it starts making you go, I don't know. I don't know. Especially as brazen as he's been with some of his foreign policy as of late, particularly with the Venezuela stuff. Not that I think we'd start doing that in the United States, but I don't necessarily know. We're in weird territory right now. We have an administration that's getting like cooked by the fucking facts on the ground by anyone with eyes and a brain at damn near a daily basis. So yeah, we're in bizarre territory. So the idea of that, like, hey, we're gonna constantly be like, oh, we got these boots on the ground in this city, these boots on the ground. You're like, what are we doing here? Something's weird about this, and I don't like it. Over in Israel land, we got the Mossad chief David Barnea has announced that Israel is planning operations in the heart of Tehran, reminiscent of those carried out in June to inaugurate the 12-day war. Now, I know my audience is partially retarded, so I do want to remind you guys, Tehran is in Iraq. Or not Iraq, Iran. See, I'm a little retarded too, so it's understandable. So just to remind, 12-day war, this is concerning. Hey, especially given the timing of everything for my fellow schizo friends, I know we try not to make too much of the dots, but God damn it, we can't help but connect them. And yeah, we've been saying Iran's getting ready to pop off, and here they are talking about doing espionage type shit, which is exactly what they did during the 12-day war. They antagonized the situation, started murder, and here they are loudly announcing, hey, we're planning on fucking murdering again. What do you think of that? Well, I think we'll probably get roped into some bullshit all over again, is what I think, especially given the insane level of deference we've seen from this administration over and over and over and over and over again. And then on this Venezuela shit I was telling you about, here is, we did a boom again. We did some murder. Woohoo! Watch some murder. You guys want to watch a snuff video? We're going to watch murder. While I read, for the audio people, you have to watch it, but you guys could watch as I read Trump's tweet. He said, on my orders, the Secretary of War ordered a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel affiliated with a designated terrorist organization conducting narco-trafficking in the U.S. Southcom area of responsibility. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was trafficking illicit narcotics and was transiting along a known narco-trafficking passage en route to poison Americans. There's no fucking way, Trump said. This is texted that. He copied and pasted. The strike killed 3 male narco-terrorists aboard the vessel, which was in international waters. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. I wasn't really concerned about that, to be honest. Stop selling fentanyl, narcotics, and illegal drugs in America and committing violence and terrorism against Americans. We've talked about this over and over again in this show. The Venezuelan stuff is like not even, wait, to be fair, I guess my assuming is Venezuela. Did he say Venezuela in here? Maybe I'm making an assumption. Yeah, I did make an assumption it's Venezuela. He didn't say the location, but I'm gonna make that assumption. I think it's a safe assumption. Let's actually roll through the comments. Let's see if there's more in that. I mean, it didn't specifically say Venezuela, but let's be real. It was in that area. So whatever. South America. I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. Once again, we're just witnessing murder, and they're bragging about it over again. So that's great. And then on the propaganda front, here is Trump talking about the TikTok deal. So I wonder what. Let's see what he has to say.
have great American patriots that are buying it. Very, very substantial people that love our country, and they're very smart technologically, and they will not let anything bad happen to tech.
You know who these people are? Well, these people he's speaking of, Mark Andreessen of Andreessen Horowitz, and then Larry Ellison of Oracle, and Egon Durbin of Silver Lake, set to control 80% of TikTok's U.S. operations. I mean, anyone who knows who Mark Andreessen is, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know it's not, maybe my audience doesn't know a ton about him. He's kind of like a venture capital guy, I think. But, I mean, come on. Horowitz? I mean, what do I need to say more? I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit anti-Semitic, but come on. Yeah, I mean, I says I'm just kind of giving you a shorthand. I just didn't want to have to. I don't know if you know enough about him. Yeah, he's pretty amenable to these sort of things. He'll sell his soul for $1. Now, Larry Ellison, same thing. He's a fucking cyber spook. Look into him. We've covered him many, many times, and there's many things. Many videos of him saying how much he, how big of a deal Israel is to him. How he's, willing to dedicate his life or whatever fucking weird quotes he has out there. So. Yeah, it's now 80% Israel TikTok, so I have a feeling, expect some changes coming soon for the TikTokers out there. I don't think you're going to be dealing with the same entity very much soon. Then we have Trump threatening Code Pink with RICO charges. I don't really know why this got included in the foreign policy stuff in anti-war, but whatever. They had an article, so I figured I'd bring it up. Activists, well, okay, I guess because it's Code Pink's anti-war. Although I thought they did more than just that. But activists from the anti-war group Code Pink confronted. I don't know why I said that. U.S. President Donald Trump and his cabinet at a restaurant in Washington D.C. on September 9th. Oh, this is the one we talked about a few days ago. I thought this was a little bit different. This is we covered this video. Okay, so this gives us a little bit more specifics here. Disruption made national headlines and evidently sent the Trump administration to a frenzy. At the restaurant on September 9th, peace activists got surprisingly close to Trump and cabinet members including J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, shouting, "Free D.C., free Palestine, Trump is the Hitler of our time." Yeah, this is not the chant I'd go with. Mine would be like "Free Palestine, Heil Hitler," or what is it? Nigga Heil Hitler. Not that I actually Heil Hitler, but I don't know, the sentiment of fuck you. But I know it's funny, and the Free Palestine. But anyways, this is what they said: Free DC, free Palestine, Trump's Hitler of our time. Trump appeared to react with visible frustration. He's gestured for security, moved the protesters, saying, "Get them out of here." And then we played that the clip where he says he calls them paid agitators here. Says they should be put in jail. He alluded, or you think he straight up mentioned RICO charges. Said what they're doing to this country is really subversive. He said. Let me see. Yeah, where did it go? I thought there was more of that quote there. Oh, anyone who values free speech should be appalled at his attempt to criminalize it. Melissa Garriga, spokesperson for Code Pink, told People's Dispatch. So this is just more digging into that story from before. I thought this was a separate one. But yeah, so that was the entity that he was speaking about in there was Code Pink. They did, so it seems like a legit entity, for anti-war entity. Even if they were, as I ranted that day, even if they were paid by other people, it's like, yeah, I don't know. You're paying for, especially we live in a world where don't they technically consider corporations people anyways? Like, I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't say corporation's a person, but like I'm fine with people, I guess, technically paying for, yeah, I'm sure large protest groups get funding in some way. Like, of course, like, I mean, you need shit. You're going to have to pool your money together in some way, at least. You got to figure out a funding mechanism. So totally makes sense. Just doesn't just happen like that. All right, let's go through chat, say some more good mornings, and then we'll get into the main body. That's all I got in the foreign policy front, and let's check in on you guys. It's been a minute. Let me check something real quick. 1 second. All right, okay. I just make sure there wasn't anything. I was keeping track on my phone to see if that guy like DMs me or something, because I would like to get him on the show. Let me see what all else we got in here. Say some good morning, Fire Pixie, despite it's not morning. Let me see. Good morning, Devon Wooten. Good morning. Good morning. Go everyone hit that like button. See a bunch of y'all in there. Help a brother out. Help boost the channel. Also go over to Rumble if you would be so so inclined, given the shit I talk. I don't know how long I am destined for YouTube. Who else we got? Anybody new pop up in the chat? I don't want to make sure I miss anybody. See if there's anything interesting you guys have to say. Rise of Liberty says if we're going after fentanyl, then we need to go to producers, which is China. Let me see. Good morning, ANRHJO. That's quite the name. I said that I think I hive mind. Nation has the most realistic take on Shirk. I think you mean Kirk. Makes the most sense, and his BBBBB wife, I don't know what that means, baby wife, mother, worked for with the Department of Homeland Security, all one big stinky pedo club. Yeah, I haven't really had a chance to delve too much into some of the deep conspiracies where you get into like, you know, casting illusions among the family. But there's weird stuff, so I don't know. I'm open. I'm not that I'm like trying to be. I'm completely open to that. I have a whole series on Sandy Hook, but it's only on Rumble because I'm not retarded. And that guy who did it with me is in jail, so it makes it even, I guess, rare, I guess. I miss that guy. I hope you're doing good, John Klebold. So, yeah, I'd like to hear back if on the off chance his loved ones see this. I would like to hear back what's going on with him. If there's anything I can do to help, I'd love to. Good morning, Tony Chin. It says, Coop has started a deep dive into OKC. Young content creator doing great work. Who is Coop? I don't know who Coop is. I know I just shared someone and saved to watch later the other day. Somebody who covered something. Maybe that's what you're referring to. I mean, some dude who has a large platform already. So I don't know. I haven't looked into him. So I don't know if that's who you're referring to. I did save it to watch there because I saw, oh, here's somebody else doing a deep dive in Oklahoma City bombing. Is he the one who just did one on the Kenneth trying to do, Jesse trying to do type thing? I haven't had a chance to watch it. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Tony. Let me see. All right. Black Eye says Erica worked at the Air Force in Romania with her own NGO. Chernobyl glows less. Yeah. Yeah. All right. He could use your guidance, says Tony Chin. I guess I could help. He just did Vegas too. Good stuff. Ironically, his video suggested render. I'll check it out. I mean, it might be the one I already have saved in my watch later. Check out as it is. All right, let's get into the main stuff for today. Man, we have. I guess I'm a little bit bearing the lead, although I kind of have to mention the funeral stuff. But it does kind of tie into, I guess, the rest of what's going on, the funeral stuff. So today, I mean, many of you guys may know they are doing the funeral today. So here's a video of like from 6:30 a.m. the crowd out there. So you can kind of get an idea of. I mean, I've seen other aerial ones, and it's quite a bit of people. I'm sure it's going to set some sort of records or something, or I don't know. So, yeah, it's something. It sure is something. I mean, he did. I know I did talk a little bit of shit earlier, but it is like a shit in the idea of like everybody. Now, I understand that like there are lots of people who did watch a show regularly. Like for example, like I was a huge fan of Dave Smith, like, and that's like that's like the big reason I even like kind of, I guess I want to say reason, but he's definitely a big influence in like so like if he got like popped, I would be, and I've met him, and like not that we're like close friends or anything, we're definitely on the acquaintance side of things. But I wish well for him and his family and stuff, and I think he's genuinely a good guy. And it's like, and I've enjoyed his content for a long period of time. And if it's like, yeah, if something crazy like that happened, I would be fucking mortified. But I'm not the general audience, and it's like, I mean, to what degree is the general audience or general person out there interacting with Charlie? I don't know. It just seems a bit. I'm a bit of a callous person too, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dick. But it seems a bit much. Aside from here, like I'm saying though, what I'm trying to drive at though is worldwide though. I do think there probably is like, I don't know to what degree this is indicative of that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that's performative here, but it's also like he did lead a pretty crazy life and did have a lot of people who really did love him. So it's like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people. I just think there are definitely, especially in the mass side, like to commit to have to go to the funeral. I think the vast majority of people there, it is like they did probably feel touched. If you're taking that sort of time to go out of your day to do that, I do think that's the case. It's just there's a lot of people that are like, they took 10 minutes to put out some gay fucking tweet or video, and it's like they probably didn't mean a damn. They're just someone jumping on the trend, and it's like, dude, come on, like what do you? And like over milking it, like come on, it's a bit much. But there are a lot of people who do love him, so there is that flip side of like this does seem genuine. I mean, I think there are some opportunists from some of the videos I've seen out there. It was pretty gross. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? This is weird. It's a funeral. But I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more coverage of this. I haven't been watching the live stream or anything like that, so I don't really know particularly the tone and tenor of anything that's taken here. I mean, given some of the stuff we covered, like Friday, with the possibility of like the Pentagon getting ready to like grift off of Charlie Kirk and stuff. So I'm like, there is a little bit of concerning that you're like, I don't know what they're going to do here so far as speeches and stuff. I would assume they'd keep some tact. So we'll cover probably more of this on probably Tuesday or something when I come back. I don't know exactly how it's going right now, but I do want to let you guys know that is going on right now. I think there are streams all over the place if you want to check it out. Probably on the Charlie Kirk show if I had to guess. I did find this particularly interesting, though, for reasons we'll get into later in this episode, that Josie pointed out here that this is one of the only times, I think, that one of the few times that you'll see the VP and the president together. It's pretty unique, and there's a shitload of people there. She pointed out, she said, I've asked a couple times, or been asked a couple times, with Trump and Vance both in attendance today at Charlie's funeral, who is a designated survivor. It's horrifying. We even have to consider this since the entire government is not also in attendance. I'm not even sure if they would select one. It's possible they are just utilizing or on the line of secession. This says Speaker Mike Johnson, second to Vance, followed by Chuck Grassley, who is then followed by Marco Rubio. But if they did officially select a designated survivor as well, it depends on who is in Arizona and who is not. Is perhaps somebody like Doug Collins, the lower-ranking cabinet members, or past protocol. So essentially, we're dealing with a situation with a fuckload of basically everyone damn near in the line of secession towards the presidency is there. So we could be dealing with some weird, crazy shit, like some Game of Thrones type weird, crazy shit, like blowing up the castle. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. It could. It's just worth being like, hey, this is, with all the tensions going on, I mean, some of which I think are probably contrived. Yeah, it's a little bit of a concern. And I'm hoping nothing, to be very, very clear, I absolutely hope nothing happens. I hope it goes off without a hitch, but it is something to be aware of. Now, I did want to point this out. I did see, I guess Erica Kirk has been talking about the death penalty, so I thought that's particularly interesting. I think it's a good thing, but let's see what she has to say.
Did an interview with the New York Times saying, it came out this morning, saying for Erica Kirk, a husband's life cut short by the violence he seemed to foresee, saying, I'm a strong believer that this was God's plan, and it's so clear cut. It couldn't be more Charlie. I've had so many people ask, do you feel anger towards this man? Like, do you want to seek the death penalty? I'll be honest, I told our lawyer, I want the government to decide this. I do not want that man's blood on my ledger, because when I get to heaven and Jesus is like, eye for an eye, is that how we do it? And that keeps me from being in heaven, from being with Charlie.
I can't imagine having to...
Now, I don't give a shit what this broad has to say, to be honest, so I just wanted to point that out. We're not going to watch the rest of this. Who gives a fuck what Riley Gaines has to say? Sorry, I know that's mean, but she's like some swimmer or some shit. Like, I don't know. They try to pass her off as some hot girl. Like, you're neither. Sorry. I don't know. Because she's pretty-ish, but it's weird. It's weird that we always try to get sold this one. Whatever. I'm not interested. But that is interesting. The wife has kind of already floated out that she's not interested in the death penalty. She doesn't want that on her. She's saying leaving it to the government. I think it's a classy move. I do think it's particularly gross and frankly a little maybe not gross, because I guess you could pass it off as like they're just being honest, I guess, because I don't know, whatever. I guess it's particularly retarded, I would say, and irresponsible. I would put it at this point to even really be floating the idea of death penalty, pushing for it in any way that could perceived. And then if you're someone out there who's like, especially a larger influencer, and you're like, well, actually, here's what Charlie Kirk thinks about the death penalty. We should fucking kill him. And it's like, well, you're fucking retarded. Like, how about, like, I don't know, sit the fuck down. Like, I don't know, what's a good example? I talked about this before, about, like, McVeigh, obviously. They rushed to, like, after the bombing, they literally reset they changed the legislation to make it so they could rush through for specific ones. I want to say it was domestic terrorism, I think. I don't know what the specific, if it applies. I forget. Anyways, point being is they figured out a way to rush under specific circumstances people to the death penalty, particularly McVeigh. They rush him to death penalty, and then, ta-da, you just killed your prime witness. And now we don't have him anymore. I know there's all those conspiracy theories. I know. Stop. I get it. I guess go ahead and comment. It's an algo boost, but it is annoying. I get it. Paul, why is it Paul? Paul, why is it Paul? Paul, why is it Paul? I still think they probably fucking just cut that loose thread. I think it's a lot easier to just do that, but who knows? Maybe he went undercover, got a little bit of fucking, and now he just goes, I'm Paul now. I don't fucking know, but I doubt that. But obviously they threw that through. He got killed real quick. And we lost our prime witness. Not saying, I don't know. I mean, everyone goes, oh, what do you think would have, like I saw a lot of people when I posted, what do you think would have happened? Like, well, for one, if you were someone who actually knew fuck all about the Oklahoma City bombing, yeah, it'd be obviously way fucking better if McVeigh was alive. Way fucking better. I mean, we still have Nichols, but we can't get a goddamn word to him hardly, but at least be one more person. For example, though, I would look to Dutroux. Like, for example, the Dutroux affair. For those unaware of that, that was a dude who was raping and kidnapping and raping and procuring children and giving them to other people. He was like kind of the bag man, kind of the it kind of be like if you were looking at it from the perspective of like an Epstein thing. Think if he had some like on the ground dude guy kidnapping girls and stuff. Like he was more like the muscle, kind of like an in between, middle management, I guess you could say. And he got busted. And he's still locked up, I believe, and he's been locked up since the 90s. And they didn't, like, they got Michelle Nihul, the guy who was the guy above him in this very obvious child prostitution, blackmail, whatever the fuck network he had going on. They slapped him with some drug charges or whatever. But Nihul, Dutroux, the main one, Dutroux Fair, what everyone thinks of when it comes to that, he's blabbed from the jump. He's, and he's been every now and then, once in a great while, somehow someone talks to him and he has other stuff about like. He doesn't always name names and stuff, but he's like, yeah, like he adds more to it. Like, sure, he might be telling some bullshit here and there, but he's fucking talking. New stuff comes out of stuff he says occasionally. Like, I follow the minutia of that. Like, they're still pursuing leads in like, well, maybe not. I guess it's a little bit different. It kind of is tangentially connected. I don't know if there's nothing technically open in the Dutroux stuff. There's like tangentially connected cases that are kind of open. But anyways, point being, it's obviously preferable to have the prime witness not be fucking dead. So, yeah. So maybe don't float that idea out there, you fucking idiots. I'm just throwing that out. But anyways, I do want to say that I think it is good for whatever it's worth that she is out there. And I guess I did kind of throw that out there beforehand before we go into this, because I guess she's getting ready to do a tell-all. So now I do want to say, I think I'm not going to make fun of this broad, because I'm pretty sure she was like literally, I think she's part of Turning Point or something. So it's like, okay, this seems like probably genuine. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's probably genuine. So it's like, I just want to say, I'm not making fun of anybody who's made fun of some people, or some people are being performative online. I think this one really did know her. So there's a little bit of, but I guess Erica is getting ready to come on her podcast soon. So let's listen to this. Oh, sorry. Now, of course, the audio stopped working. Give me a minute. Sorry. Give me a second, of course. StreamYard has to glitch out because it wouldn't be a morning dump without a glitch in my StreamYard, because what the fuck am I paying for this for? All right, we have it back. Let's go and try now.
Those tribute episodes, they're going to come out Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week. We are going to address everything. Charlie's thoughts on Israel, if he was offered $150 million in hush money, how him and Erica handled disagreements, what his vacations were like with his family, if he was in the process of converting to Catholicism, his last week on earth, his last hours on earth, if Erica feels good about the suspect who was arrested, and his thoughts on education and so much more. Now, I do chime in and I share in these episodes too, so this isn't the last you're going to hear from me about him. But I just want you to know that, one, I have appreciated every single person who has texted or called me, if you know me personally. I have appreciated every single DM that has been sent, every comment, every like, every heart. I feel more motivated than ever to work with these incredible people at Turning Point USA, all handpicked by Charlie himself, to continue fighting to save the greatest country in the world. Working with Charlie Kirk at Turning Point USA the past 6 years has been the greatest honor of my life. And I owe everything I have to God and Charlie. In that order. I love you, Charlie. We love you. And Erica, you're going to rock this. We will continue on this show to make America healthy again and heal a sick culture. The sick culture who killed my boss, my friend, a husband, and a father. And I will not rest until my dying breath to do it.
All right, so that's coming out here soon. So I'm just throwing it out there. We're supposedly getting ready to have a tell-all from Erica Kirk. So for whatever that's worth, I don't know which way the wind will blow there. I have no idea. Like I presented earlier, if it was my wife, I'd say, just, hey, I'd go like, hey, go talk to, I don't know, hey, FBI, what do you want me to say here? Hey, what prepare a statement for me. That's what I would want my wife to do. Go to the FBI and go, could you just prepare a statement? I'll just say whatever the fuck you want. That's what I would do. That's what I'd probably do. Like you could say, it's almost like, I guess, like being a sellout from the grave. Like, yeah, once they shot me, like, yeah, fuck all this shit at that point. Like, I care about my kids. So yeah, don't believe a goddamn word that comes out of my wife's mouth if I ever get popped. Do not. All right, let's roll through chat, check in, see what you guys say. Okay, this ANRHJO, so they're from the UK. Okay, so you were talking about somebody different with the Shirk thing. I was a little bit confused. Like, what are you talking about? No, I haven't been following it. I know there's that one Epstein guy got busted over there. I haven't been paying attention to over there. But let me see. Tony Chin says random boomers start talking detail about Charlie Kirk like they even knew who he was before he was shot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel bad because I forgot about this girl and her crying bit here. Like, I did kind of front load it with, and I was like, I just want to be like, hey, I'm not talking about her. But I guess it did kind of explain like what she did is like kind of what like you're saying like random boomers where it'd be like, oh, they watched like 2 Charlie Kirk clips. And you're like, dude, what? You're like, you did like, come on, calm down. So. What else we got in here? Good morning, Alien Big Cat. I think it's first I'm seeing you in here. She didn't just get 80 mil. God works in mysterious ways. Single Ted. Yeah, supposedly Erica's much more based than Charlie. Yeah, I think I covered that in a previous episode. So, yeah, and Uncle Ted says McVeigh asked for it. Like, yeah, I know. I don't give a shit if this guy begs to be killed. I don't give a fuck. I want him to stay alive so we can find out what the fuck happened. Because I don't trust a goddamn word that the government's saying. And if you do, we're going to get into some topic here in a second that is like... Hey, you there? Sorry, I just noticed my internet glitch. How bad is it right now? I hope it's not too bad. To go kick my wife off the internet, so you get the fuck off the internet. Let me see. I'm scrolling through. Good morning, Shayuon. Good morning. Why wouldn't they kill Nichols? Said Nevsky. I mean, they've got him like locked up to where he can't really talk to nobody. So he's like the way they have him set up here. So why wouldn't they kill Nichols? I mean, I don't really think they need to. They have it set up to where he can't talk to anybody, pretty much. Let me see. What else is there in here? Some America fuck yes. This is Billion Big Cat. Rise of Liberty says there are a lot of people putting words in Charlie's mouth. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be saying if he was still here. Exactly. Audio's good now. Says I just noticed it glitched up, so I thought maybe it was like. So I think I was out for a second there. I don't know if maybe you just got a delay on you guys' end. I'm sorry. All right, let's get back into it. Let's get into the Magic Bullet. I'm going to kind of front load this because I think it's important in under how things went down with, between my last show and now. Maybe I know a lot of people probably watching the morning dumps in sequential, to keep up with what's going on. But in this latest episode, between then and now, we had Candace come out that claims she saw the camera footage from the back. So, one of the big things that we've covered in the show was the video of the guy who got up on the chair, which likely had blood spray on it, if I had to assume. So a substantive part of a criminal investigation. I don't know. Like, seems a little weird to me. But we'll get into that some more later. But this guy, he gets up on the chair very shortly after Kirk was killed. So we have people still running around, their heads cut off, all crazy. You even see cops kind of pacing about. They still don't know what's going on. So, in the pandemonium, this guy on video, because we have the video of it. I don't know if who knows, maybe some sort of oversight. We even actually have, I think we might get to see him take a call. I don't know if she goes into it in this clip or not, but take a call and then go up to in the tent. He gets up on the chair. I don't know if he pulls the entire camera down. It's just the SD card, but you can see he's messing with it. I forget. I think he pulls the whole thing down. But anyways, because someone refers to something about the SD cards later. I don't know. That almost feels like maybe a downplaying it, like on accident. Because all they needed was the SD cards. So like, if you could say that and be like truthful, like it's almost like this factual but not truthful thing. Because you could be like, oh, SD cards are what we gave to the FBI or what we gave to. That's what we got out of there. But you also took the camera. You know what I mean? It makes it sound like you downplayed it. Like you just click, pulled it out, left the camera the way it was, and you're like, oh, I didn't touch. Almost makes it sound like you tried to mess with the crime scene as little possible. Where you probably shouldn't be. Like, I don't know the law that well. I don't know if it's illegal or not. And trust me, I'm a fucking anarchist. Like, I don't even really care for the gun, but like, I'm also live in the real world, and I'm not like retarded. I guess I'll give you like an example. I actually had I may have talked about this on the show before. It's not like some great, huge emotional moment in my life. It fucked me up a little bit. I was like, holy shit. But someone killed themselves in front of my house before. They had at my last house, I lived more of one of those like standard neighborhoods type thing. You're all the cookie cutter type houses, kind of like Weeds, a little, and they're ticky tacky. Like if you ever watch that show Weeds, a little intro where they're like all the little houses and they're like little NPC, little villages or whatever. I was in one of those, and so like my neighbor was like 20 feet over. We had a nice enough house, something like 1,800 square foot, just a generic house, and it was like kind of parked between our house and his, in the middle, kind of like where the mailbox is. Like my neighbors, they were like teenage, or I think they were young adults, and they'd gone out partying the night before, and their friend came with them, and he parked kind of there, after they came out, and ended up shooting himself in the head. And when I woke up, because it was like a weekend or something, my wife had to go to work or something, and I kind of walked out with her to say goodbye or whatever, and I saw them all looking at the car and kind of like looking around and kind of like, because their friend was in the car, the doors were locked, and he was slumped over, still breathing, but he had a weird labored breathing, like neurologic, for anyone who understands like any medical anything. He was very clearly neurologic well, I guess not very clearly. It took me a while to figure that out. But once I figured out what was going on, you're like, oh, he's in a neurologic state, dealing with some sort of neurological damage. But yeah, he shot himself in the head. But like the way he was slumped over and still was breathing, and there was just a little bit of blood that was kind of dribbling down. So the people there thought, his friends were looking in, they're like, they thought he'd like bumped his head or something. They even say like, hey, yo, man, because this is back when I was in the military. Like, hey, yo, man, like, can you check it? Aren't you in the military? Like, some CPR, this or that. And I'm like, I mean, dude, I took like one fucking class in the military. I don't know a goddamn thing, really. Most of any like medical knowledge I've learned, really, it's from like other shit. Nothing like military related. It's just because I was bored on Google or this or that, or I read this thing. Almost nothing from the military, but I was kind of like, okay, I'll check. He's like, hey man, can you check like what's going on? Can you look at him or whatever? And then I came over there and looked and like kind of looked in the window, and I could see kind of on the ground of the thing like a gun, and I could see it on the floor, kind of by where his feet were of the car, and seemed slumped over, and I could kind of see where and I was able to look around the other side, and I could see what looked like a larger hole on the other side. Very clearly shot himself in the head through and through type thing. And yeah, and then once I realized what it was, I kind of was like, I'm tying these things in together. My immediate instinct is especially, this is me being rational, and this is someone I don't know, to be fair. So I guess this guy might be a little bit more of an emotional situation to give this guy. This is someone I don't know. The only emotional side, the rational part of me kicked in, and I go, I knew this guy had been in this state for hours, because, funny enough, I'd actually woken up in the middle of the night to a large sound that night, so I'm pretty sure that was the time he shot himself, because I remember looking around the house, even with my gun, kind of like, what the fuck woke me up? What's going on? Kind of scoping out, and I didn't see anything, kind of then going to bed in the next morning, But my first instinct was the doors are locked. It's like, it's like, you guys need to call the cops and you guys can do what you want, but I would recommend do not touch anything. Because like he's in the state he's in. There's no, what are you going to do? I mean, I guess maybe if it was my friend, maybe I'd pull him out, bring him to the ER myself. Although even then, I don't know if I would. With a gunshot, I don't know if I'd want to move him. I'd call the ER, and I would not fuck with the crime scene at all. Why would you want to make this look like anything other than what it is? Why would you in any way want to put your prints anywhere near anything that could in any way look bad for you? Why? Like, that was my thinking. And this guy, his immediate thought is, well, I'm just going to go fucking take the camera. Like, what the fuck? Okay, but let's see what Candace's take is on the situation, because I do think it's important. She came out, and essentially the crux of what I'm getting at here is she came out and she said she saw the video, and we'll see what she has to say here. And but let's go ahead and watch this, and let's go and play it. Actually, I don't have it up real quick. Sorry, StreamYard keeps glitching on me hardcore today. I'm sorry, guys, but let's go and play this. It's the feds, guys.
There's nothing gory about this footage from the back.
Okay, straight into it. Okay, this isn't give the preamble here about how I do think it's important, and she said that she knew this guy as soon as as soon as she saw who it was. She was like, oh, I know that guy. Apparently, he was some dude from the early days of Turning Point USA, is what she said. And so she's like, so I just called him because I was able to get a hold of him, and then she said that he was then went over a Zoom call and was willing to show her the video, but didn't want to put it out. I forget her reasoning. I will say she did sound slightly skeptical. She framed it in a way that didn't cast any negative illusion. So for me, and maybe a lot of my other schizo friends, you might see that and go kind of look side-eyed at Candace. Trust me, I'm open to the idea of looking side-eyed at Candace, and I definitely do sometimes. But I mean, I will say, I don't know, that I could totally buy that as you don't want to burn your source, because she was saying I'm trying to work on him to get him to release it. I mean, feels a little fishy. I'll be honest, feels fishy, but I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, for all I know, I think this could actually, there's actually a possibility that this Candace thing, whatever she did behind the scenes here, may have rustled some things and got us to where we're getting to, which is the magic bullet. So this is why I think it's important to seat this in the timeline properly. Candace came out with this information first, that she saw this supposed behind the scene footage. Although I guess no one else has confirmed it, but I guess I'll go ahead and say the lead. Someone's claimed stuff from the doctor, said some stuff, so that confirms what Candace is about to say right now, which is essentially there was no exit wound, there was no blood from the back. The view from that camera, we saw something here. There should be something on the other side. This should be a through and through. It's a 30-06. I've shown you on the show pictures of what a 30-06 does to a human neck. It's nothing. It cuts through it like a warm knife through butter. But so Candace came out with this. Let's go and play it.
There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood. There's no blood from the back. There is no blood. So I think a lot of people were wondering whether or not that bullet pierced and went out to the back. I think I vaguely even remember, and Skylar, you can maybe live look this up, but I thought the feds were saying they were looking for a bullet at some point, which is now very alarming to me. I don't understand that. How could they have been looking for a bullet? Because if I'm not seeing, and there isn't, I'm telling you, what happens in the front is not what happens in the back at all. If I'm not seeing any blood, what are we to take from that? The only thing that could make sense, if what they're saying is true and that person took the shot from the place that they are saying that individual took the shot from, it would suggest that it was inside of Charlie, right? And they would know that. The feds would have known that. So they would have communicated that they were never looking for a bullet. Because remember, one shot. So I'm very confused. I'm very confused, not by what I saw, but what I didn't see.
She makes a good point. You would think the feds would have already known by now the bullet stuff, and we haven't heard anything about it. But as I kind of am mentioning, we'll get into, I do think there's a chance this could possibly play into some sort of reason why we are where we are now. Real quick, I did want to check in the chat. There's something in there I did want to address real quick, but I see you in there. Good morning, RG Mac. Good morning. Says, yo. First, I'm seeing you in there just now. Today, then Tony Chin, this is what I wanted to bring up. He said, I seen videos, because I didn't think to mention it, so appreciate you saying this. It actually is he said, I seen videos of a young black dude was stealing all the hats left behind the tables. I'd say the producers were securing the expensive camera at the very least. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too. I haven't seen the videos, so I'll take your word for it. I heard someone say that. I just never really looked into it too much about that. There were black guys stealing it, or a black dude stealing hats or whatever. Which that's nuts. But like, then you would think that the move would be like just lurk there, wait. I don't know. It just seems bizarre to me. I still, even though they're stealing the hats, I don't. I wouldn't want. It's just bizarre to me. It seems like, especially since these are like, what are these Turning Point USAs? These are like, fucking constitutional, fucking dyed in the wool, fucking, sort of normie pilled nonsense. Like, they're like kind of semi-based sometimes. They're like, I mean, these are people that have like immense deference to authority. And so the idea that these people would be like, I'm going to fuck with a crime scene is just insane to me. But I don't know. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I did want to bring it up, the hats thing, because it does make a bit of a point. I forgot to mention that. So there's I think it does matter. There was somebody supposedly stealing some shit. I'll have to check that out more on my own. There's too much to keep up with. All right, let's get into. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Actually, I'll check the chat. Say good morning, Jared Hall. See who else is in here. Good morning. Good morning. Who else is in here? Let me see if there's anything else worth replying to before I get buried in the chat, because I know there's gonna be a lot of people there. All right. Gerald Hollis's entire security detail were Israelis. I think we're going to get into that. Taffy Rumble is saying that strong black queen Candace is curing my racism. All right, let's go ahead and get back into it. Sorry, I wanted to address the chat real quick because there was something there that I was like, I did want to address that. So, all right, let's get into it. We are in magic bullet territory. I said here, I really can't believe they're running with the magic bullet bullshit again. This is Trump spitting in America's mouth. Obviously, I guess we could maybe the Trump thing's maybe overselling it, because it's like, I don't know, the information technically here did not float at Trump, but I guess to the point we just brought up a minute ago, it's like how Candace brought up, it's like, why the fuck did they not tell us, hey, we found the bullet already, like, or found a bullet? Like, I mean, I understand maybe not want to releasing some information for legal reasons, but if if they supposedly got the bullet, they would have known days ago, and the cop would have relayed this, or the doctor would have relayed this information, and they go, hey, we found a bullet. It would cure a lot of problems. But let's get into the magic bullet. Let's go ahead. Now, this is from Andrew Colvey. He puts, I want to address some of the discussion. Now, Andrew Colvey, actually, this is, do you want to explain who he is? I'm assuming it's Colvey, probably not Colvette. I don't know, Colvett? I don't know, whatever. He's, I guess, like the co-host or producer or something of the Charlie Kirk show. Funny enough, I just now realized, I remember I've always kind of wondered, who the fuck is this guy? I'm pretty sure he was the fucking dork that I made fun of big time on that that one episode we were making fun of the Charlie Kirk thing, where he brought on like the college guys and they kind of chit-chatted about Israel and their perceptions of it. I'm pretty sure this was the other guy on him that I literally was making fun of him as if he was like his handler, because that was the vibes I got from him, just joking around. But man, is that a weird thing to think about now? Especially some of the information that's coming out of this guy. I mean, I don't know. It's just astounding. It'd be one thing if it was just one incredible, crazy, except this fucking bullshit that came out of him. But it's been at least two now, I think, that have come directly from him. And we'll go through one of them right now. The magic bullet. So I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize. This is somewhat graphic. But in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle. And I want people to know. So it's a miracle now. I just spoke with a surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet, here's in quotes now, absolutely should have gone through, which is very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen rounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. Now, I will admit, the way I cropped these when I put them in the thing, it cut out like one sentence. But it's not meaningful, so it doesn't matter. I just want to let you guys know that before anyone goes, oh, you kept it. If anyone says I cut it out or whatever, just for the sake of honesty, I did just to make it fit, because it was like, but the one little line didn't matter. I don't even remember what it is. He said, I mentioned to his doctor, it wasn't like any quote or anything in there. I said, I mentioned to his doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent, and he replied, now back in quotes, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. End quote. Quote, his bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he is like the man of steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. End quote. In the end, the coroner did find the bullet just beneath the skin. Even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. Remarkable, miraculous. I would add, ridiculous. And then, I added to here, Hank Hill, nigga, what? And then Stephen A. Smith with his little unconvincing glare, because, what the fuck? I guess to display this, let's look at a 30-06, what it does to a deer at 200 yards. Would you guys like to see this? Let me make sure I got my audio going still. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick together.
We didn't even range. We just knew that she was close enough to basically put it right on her. And yeah, the old Savage Axis seemed to do the job.
By the way, this is at 200 yards, which is further than Charlie Kirk is away. So give it a minute, it'll come to it.
Well, thanks for watching, guys, sharing, subscribing.
Oh, did I go too far?
And here you
go.
Yeah, it did a hell of a job.
There you go. That's
and now
her a bit. So right here's where I got her.
So there's the entrance, which you can barely even make out. Keep in mind, this is how it works with guns typically. You use like a small entry wound, big exit. So when watching
in the face. The exit's
I do want to, I've said many times, I just want to be very clear. I'm no guns expert by any means or stretch of the imagination. I just have maybe like, I guess you could say common sense. I mean, I grew up in the country. I did hunt up until like high school with my dad, so I've shot plenty of rifles and stuff. And like, I mean, I never actually got a deer myself. I was with my multiple times, like on hunting, groups with my families, and when we've gotten deers and stuff. But I never actually got one. So yeah, I mean, I'm by no means like some crazy experienced hunter. I've shot plenty of guns. I'm not, by no means am I some gun aficionado that's like ever made it part of my personality in any way, shape, or form. I just like to occasionally, I grew up in the country where guns were fairly ubiquitous in a hunting family, and it was whatever. I liked them. They're cool. They're fun to shoot shit. Like it wasn't anything like crazy. So like it's just kind of, but I'm not like by any means some super knowledgeable guy on it, but just kind of your normal shit. You're like, kind of, you get a laugh out of me when you try to tell me a 30-06 got stopped by Charlie Kirk's fucking neck, which I guess that got changed later, which we'll get into some of that. But we're to believe there was no exit wound with a 30-06. And here is the exit wound.
Way more impressive.
No kidding. Now that was the federal blue box, right?
Absolutely.
150 grain, 30.
So yeah, a little incredulous. Obviously, I've heard a lot of people say, many people say bullets do weird things, and yeah, I guess they do. But man, oh man, is that fucking weird? It's weird as shit, dude. You are pushing the degree of weird here. And to add to that, here's Buck Johnson. I had him on the show a long time ago. He said, I texted a friend who's a professional sniper and SWAT guy. Here's his response to this story. So I find it very unlikely this neck stopped a bullet with 2,500 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. The 30-06 is the same diameter of our 308 bullets, but with more powder and velocity. I've never seen a 308 bullet not pass through a head, neck, or torso. 30-06 would be more hard-hitting. As for the news piece, if it's real and strange and hard to understand the purpose. Okay, well, there was a piece here. We're not going to read the piece because I'm sure it's just gay nonsense about how it's a miracle, which is what everyone's running into. I'm already seeing floated out things of like, wow, almost like they're literally tying this up with religious belief, and that's how they buy it. Like, wow, like, is it? I don't know. This is so retarded. I'm sorry. Like, even if you buy religious, that just is such a level of like, okay. It's ridiculous. Here's another person. This is Genghis Khan is the name of the account. He says, this is the best yet. Apparently, Charlie Kirk's body has the same rating as a level 4 steel or ceramic bulletproof plate rating and stopped the 30-06 round, which was a direct hit on his throat. Which, by the way, level 4, once again, I'm by no means an expert. I'm pretty sure it's the highest level. Like, I mean, maybe there's a level 5. I don't know. I'm pretty sure 4 is basically it. Like, it's pretty much as high as it goes. I mean, obviously, there's differing levels, but like I know a lot of the theories were wrapped up on like whether he had a vest on or not, and we'll address some of that. It doesn't seem that way, but it's just that. I mean, even then, I feel like if he would have had to have wore probably like a level. I would say even to do the thing where like ricochet. I don't know, like any other thing other than a level 4 would just eat it. Like it would just go through it, and he would just got shot in the chest. So. And what I'm getting at is like everyone pointing if he has it or not. It's like, well, he would have had to have had level 4, and level 4, from my understanding, is usually pretty goddamn bulky, pretty goddamn noticeable. Like you're not gonna like just have some level 4 plates under your shirt that people are still to this day like, I don't know, I can see nipples. Is he wearing it? Like, no, you'd know. I mean, maybe some gun nerds in the chat. I've never really got too much, but that's my understanding of it. So take that with whatever the fuck that is, which is nothing. But just saying. Just seems fishy. He says apparently, so he said he stopped. They suddenly miraculously found the bullet. You can't make this shit up. He said a bullet which can kill an elk or full-grown grizzly bear and go through half an inch of steel plate at 100 yards was stopped in its tracks by Charlie Kirk's neck. Apparently, and that's why there was no exit wound. It's a miracle. He said, now I've heard everything, but what would I know, right? I'm just a retired sniper. So yeah, that does seem to be... I mean, I'm sure there are gun people who say otherwise, but and then after we got seemingly a bunch of backlash, then we got seated out here from Alex Jones, which he actually put out a couple videos, freak out about this, but yeah, and then now after a couple of those, because he was like, "What the fuck?" Then I don't know. Obviously, I haven't watched this video yet. We'll watch it together. But then I guess this is where we got a correction. They're saying TPUSA changes story. So I don't know if someone directly reached out to them or maybe there's a text or something, an official statement that I missed somewhere. But apparently somehow Alex Jones got the word and now he sorry, I'm trying to set up some on my phone, but for next segment. But so he's on with it now, and he got the word that there was a correction or whatever, and now we're coming with they kind of corrected for a downward slope type thing. So let's go ahead and play this. And actually, I'm going to take off the screen for a minute. I got to go run. Dang it! Sorry, I literally got all this set up, and then I just realized StreamYard did its thing again. Let me bring that up again. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. It do what it do. I am sorry. Let me fix that. It's back up. All right, let's play it now. Let's see what Alex Jones has to say about it.
All right, I'm just going to report the facts to you. I just talked to Andrew Colvett, who is the official spokesman for TPUSA, who I've met before, who's a great guy, and a big confidant of Charlie Kirk. And I put my report out about him talking to the surgeon that was there when Charlie was brought dead to the hospital, and Charlie was being shot from on top, I'm just repeating what he told me, into the throat, and he's saying now that no, it didn't go through, which actually makes sense now that I think about it. It was coming down, and then he asked me not to be too graphic, but it went down his spine, exploded in his heart, fragments went in there, which makes sense, that's what happens, and that the bullet fragments bounced back up, and they found that. So this is ballistics. I hadn't thought of that. I'm not a ballistics expert, but after all of this, that makes a lot more sense, because I have shot wild hogs and deer and you name it, sent them straight on, and the bullet goes in right in the chest and then comes out the side or comes out the ass or comes out wherever. And he's like, just don't be graphic. Well, and I told him, I said, how am I supposed to be graphic? Now understand, he's being shot from above. It goes in and it goes down the spine, and then fragments bounce back up, which I've seen bullets do. I hate talking about this, but that's where we are. So people are thinking straight on shot, but once he explained it, this isn't a straight on shot. That would go right through. That's bullshit. But if it's down, it goes down. That's what bullets do. Then they turn around and do all this stuff. So the mystery just got a lot deeper. But I know Andrew's a great guy. Met him before with Charlie.
He's a great guy.
They're just regular people reporting all this as it unfolds. And so am I. So we have to understand we don't know the answers yet in any of this. But absolutely, there's no way you get shot with 30-06. It doesn't go through. But he's like, no, let me explain. He shot from up high. It goes down and explodes. I was like, well, that's true. If he was shot from up top. So we've already seen people blaming TPUSA. Oh, the security guard shot him and all this stuff. Total crap has a cell phone and the rest of it. So we're trying to suss this out as it develops. His memorial's tomorrow in Arizona. We'll be covering it live. And I'm just going to report the best information as I have it as it unfolds. I'm just mad I read a press report that got it wrong. I apologize for that. But at the same time, I'm being told, 30-06 will go through your neck. Well, it makes sense. It's coming down. It would hit bone and then ricochet. So I've seen that. That's what it does. Comes in, high velocity. It'll bounce off bone. And he gave me, I had a long conversation with him just now. And it made perfect sense to me. And he was very upset. And he asked me not to give out graphic details. And I said, I can't do that. I can't explain this, Jesus, without explaining it. I mean, I just can't do it. But I've seen this myself. So, let ballistic experts on will break it all down. But that's the facts as we know them right now. God bless you all. God bless Charlie Kirk. We're in freedom. I took my daughter shopping today. I might do that twice a year.
All right. Okay. Now you're just rambling. Whatever. All right. Just I don't know. I'm not. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. It still feels a little much. I guess I go back and forth on this. Like, I'll be honest, the downward angle thing. But it still seems, I don't know. I mean, get in mind, this is, as I've told you before, this dump show, which is an info dump, a lot of it on the ground. So I'm just kind of thinking in real time, and I can't buy that. I mean, I'll come back to you guys with some more information soon, probably, of like maybe more informed this or that, but I just said, man, a 30-06 just doing that, even for, because I mean, the idea is they're saying like, well, it's coming from more of an angle, and so like, but it's still like, it's still coming and not that much of an angle. It was like, if you look at where it was like this. And so it's like, you're going to hit here. And then like, what do you have back here? Maybe, I mean, you're not going to hit that. You might have glanced the neck, but like, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. It just seems they would encounter maybe 1 to 2 bones at most. And the idea that the idea that the vertebrae would glance it down to that degree of an angle, I find that to be I don't know. I think we're dealing with another magic bullet territory here. It feels, I don't know, losing our minds. And then to add to that, this whole Man of Steel. Look at this shit. Remember Man of Steel? Remember everyone made a big deal about how wasn't it weird? This little video that we got, that all we know about is that, oh, Candace, I got this from one of my sources. Who's your source, Candace? I need to know. I mean, where did this? Because it's just the source, Candace. Trust me, bro. That's what the source of this is. This one camera that places him, or one photo that places him at Dairy Queen like 6 hours or 5 or 6 hours after the event, just chilling. And then there's also, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're connecting dots that maybe don't need to be connected, but it's like many people have pointed out. We're sprinkling 33s all over this bitch, and now we got Superman up in this motherfucker. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if you guys saw that Superman movie, for one, like, I see people actually posted the Trump as the Superman thing, which is, I mean, I don't know. Not to get too deep into like this sort of like revelation the method nonsense, but if you are trying to do it, this is some like top level inversion shit. Like for real. I I actually had a thought about. I kind of wish I had. I almost thought about doing some sort of solo episode of like a review of the Superman movie because I actually fucking loved it. I loved the Superman movie. I thought it was great. That was exactly what we needed. I thought it was. I mean, like for those who have read Superman, I mean, I had minor complaints. I had things that were like, that was a little bit weird. You did that, but like for the most part, the tone, the message, I mean, yeah, there was some like stuff that's a little faggoty, kind of liberalish nonsense, but I felt like it did fit with the character of Superman. There was some like dialogue that felt a little clunky, but for the most part, I loved it. I loved it. And I'm a comic book fan, or was. I mean, I don't really read comic books at all anymore, but I was a big one. And it's like, so I'm kind of, this is something I grew up in Superman. It is, I mean, the whole idea is he's supposed to be this like thing you aspire to some degree. He's like, even here, the tweet, they put the symbol of hope, truth, justice, the American way, Superman, Trump. And so like people have pointed that out in this. I don't know if I'm putting but it is, if you are talking inversion shit, all these signs, it's like, if you watch that movie, the theme of that movie is, it couldn't been like, if you watch that movie, there was literally an evil country that was getting ready to murder the fuck or genocide the absolute shit out of its, if it's, I don't know if you'd say it's citizens. I don't know how they explained it. It was some other country to another country, but it was like it was pretty clear they were in some sort of situation of like where they're annexed or some shit. Kind of like almost exactly, literally, basically Israel Gaza. Like it was probably one of the most overt things that could have been. That could have been there. I mean, some people point to like, it could be kind of making allusions to like Ukraine, Russia, but it felt pretty fucking on the nose. They're saying this is some Israel shit, and like we're basically, that is who this baddie is. We are straight up like pulling from the events right now, and Superman literally comes in, and like the whole thing is this country. I can't remember the name of the country, the evil country, and they have literally some tech billionaire, Lex Luthor. Which, I mean, we're literally in a day where we have many of these. We have Larry Ellison, we have Peter Thiel, we have Elon Musk. We have all of these that fill that role. And these guys end up being the ones working with him. He's working with that country to provide them all their tech, this, that, and this. And that way he can get a piece of it when it's all said and done. Do you guys remember the Trump Riviera plan? Or whatever the fuck they're calling it? They're like, oh, we're going to rebuild Gaza and I'm going to get a part and you're going to get a part. It's... I mean, the funny thing is I don't even think that stuff was out at the time. But it's like, what are they predicting the fucking future? They got that thing so damn on the nose. It basically, that movie was what was going on and then sort of predicted the future somewhat. And then the end is Superman then comes and saves the day and literally stops them from doing this and like this awful genocidal situation. And like he comes and saves the day. Like it's literally like, I don't know, if you wanted to take this into some top level Masonic shit, it is almost like they are like, you could say they're almost teasing you. You could be like, oh, look, here's this awful situation, and everyone's gonna, and then at the end of the day, Superman comes and saves the day. And then now here we are getting thrown in our face. And then even this, like, Trump, Superman, this, that. And you're like, dude, this is the complete inversion of that message. So if you do want to get into symbolism, it's there. It's there, and it's fucking hard. I try not to lean too much into that shit because it does make you schizo, but it is there, and I do acknowledge it. It's weird. But let's get back into where was I? Yeah, so I did want to point to the Superman thing. I don't want to lean into that too much because, I mean, if you do connect dots, you do got to limit your dot connecting to some degree. But let's get back into this little, I guess, sort of thread I put together, and then let's get into let's hear what this guy. Here's the one. He's all. Bear in mind, it's the same one who just floated out this magic bullet stuff. This is the Andrew Colvat guy. Tucker Carlson's on here too. I haven't watched this entire clip, so I'm kind of interested in see how Tucker responded to it. But this is this guy's take, this Andrew Colvat. Let me know if this passes the sniff test to you, because it did not to me, as I told you already. But let me know if this passes a sniff test to you for why this makes sense. But here's his explanation of the whole guy that took the SD card or camera or whatever the fuck. So let's watch this.
By the way, just one other conspiracy theory I just want to snuff out here. One of our dear friends that literally from the very beginning started with us and loved Charlie like a brother, he grabbed the SD cards out of the camera afterwards. And there's all these conspiracy videos about, like, why did he grab the SD cards? Well, first of all, they're in the possession of the FBI. Okay. It's not like he took them and like ran off with them. Second of all, I asked him personally, I said, why did you do that? And he looked at me, and this was his answer. He said, because I know people can be evil. And he did not want that footage being grabbed by somebody. There was videos of people after the incident going and stealing hats off the table. I mean, so I'm so grateful he did that, and that was his instinct. He's like, I'm depressed to know that was why I did that, but I knew that I had to protect that footage because I wanted, I mean, you're recording in like 4K, and so I'm so glad he did that. But Charlie knew the existence of evil. And
Well,
so,
can I say,
yeah.
I think that people can feel the existence of evil, and that, just to put in a sympathetic word for people who are trying to make sense of this and coming to the wrong conclusions, I think they're motivated, for the most part, by pure intent. I think they don't trust the authorities. They have every reason to feel that way. I know that for a fact. Not the Trump administration, in general. Like, we're not, there's been a lot of lying, and it's corroded the trust. That's not their fault, actually. They're the victims of it.
That's a good point. Thank you for saying that.
There are, of course, bad actors who are doing it for clicks or whatever, but I guess. But there are far more people who love Charlie. They loved what he stood for. They feel like he was murdered by evil. They're absolutely right. They're not sure what variety of evil. There's no authoritative person to tell them. So I guess I'm just not surprised at all. This is a message I've told to a lot of people. This is what happens when you lie too much and you hide too much. And going forward, I just want everybody with power to be honest in the way that Charlie was honest about themselves. That will do more than anything to fix this, to make people love each other and hear each other. And if people are honest, we got here because of lying. And the only antidote is truth. And so truth about yourself, not about other people. Stop talking about other people. Admit who you are. And once you do that, people can feel that. And they immediately, as they did with Charlie, they respond to it. They're like, I believe you because you're honest about.
All right, I'll give Tucker. Like I said, I hadn't started Tucker's response. I'll give that was judicious. A little bit the first, I was kind of like squinting, like, what are you doing? Like he didn't like call him out or anything, but he left in like, hey, people are questioning things, and he didn't really put it in he's taking one way or the other. And I don't blame him. I mean, if I got floated that out in a private, like in I guess a public conversation like that, I don't know if I would really offhand. Like maybe in my head, I might be like bullshit, but like at that moment, you might be like, I need to process that. Like that moment, you're not like, I'm going to bring this up right now. You're like, I need to think on this. What the fuck? Because, I would still need to, I feel like you'd probably see in my face in this situation. You would be like, I'm not very good at concealing my emotions like that. But, I probably actually wouldn't even. Like, if I was Tucker, I don't know if I would say anything at that moment. If I had just been confronted with that information at that very moment. And it was, just a friendly conversation. We weren't arguing about details or something. It would be like, I need to think this through before I make some sort of stand and argue about it because I've just learned this info. So Tucker handled that, I think, pretty damn judiciously. So good on him. I was a little bit like, where are you going with this, bud? But okay, cool. That's a little bit heartening. I'm always concerned. Is Tucker a real boy or is he not? I don't know. All right, let's check in the chats. What the heck? All right. Sorry, I just saw I got a message back from somebody important. But all right, let me check through the chat, see what you guys got to say. Actually, no, let's go back to this, and then we'll get into the chat. I'm not quite done with this part yet. So let's get back into here. So I'm interested to see what you guys do have to say about that, because I just struggle to buy that. But let's go. Okay, here we go. And then about them plates, because I've mentioned before, I think, in previous ones, and actually, I didn't mention it before. My comment here on the magic bullets thing, I said some of y'all have never shot a 30-06, and it shows. I said unless he had plates on, I put it in parentheses. He almost certainly didn't, and it was a fragment ricochet. Get the fuck out of here. And I still kind of stand by that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm open to being wrong, but this is magic bullet type stuff. This is where you're you really have to get into bullets do insanely crazy things that no one's ever really seen do that much. I don't know. It's a level of absurdity that I don't know. It's absurd. At the very least, it's I could maybe buy this one thing in isolation, perhaps. I mean, this one is kind of, it still is like a, what? But if this was the only fishy thing in all of this, perhaps I could go, okay. Maybe I'll just accept that, I just don't know enough about ballistics and that, there are exceptions and whatever. But like when you compound it with everything else, like go fuck yourself. Like, come on. And I don't even necessarily mean to this guy, because I guess I don't know what he is in all of this. I mean, he's floated out these two things, but maybe he's just really, I mean, if he really bought that from that one, I don't know. That's such a hard thing to just buy, though. The one story about, but once again, something I'll think on. Maybe you guys in the audience will maybe give me new things to think on with that. Just where I'm at right now, that is. All right. Anyways, so about them plates, I guess people have already, so as I said, I brought that up just to let you know, like, hey, plates, like, don't forget about, like, that was, in my opinion, one of the only things that really made this thing make sense, perhaps, like some sort of, which even then it's like, I don't even know if that would do it. But anyways, so it says, speculation has run rampant about whether Kirk, who faced protests and threats, has made campus appearances with wearing a bulletproof vest under his shirt. Enton said the Utah County Sheriff confirmed Kirk was not wearing armor, not that it would have made a difference in Wednesday's shooting. Now, this is from Enton, whoever the hell that is. I don't know where particularly this came from. I will tell you, I found this from my buddy from Boltzmann Booty's account, and he had found this, so I don't know where this was from, the exact source, but there's been also Kirk, or his wife, that seemingly confirmed this later. See here, we see Erica Kirk reveals she wore his husband Charlie's bloodstained pendant that was ripped from his neck as he died. She ripped this from the New York Post. She revealed that Kirk had been receiving numerous death threats over the past year and had been traveling with the security team for months. During dinner, Erica begged her husband to start wearing a bulletproof vest, and when he refused, the friend suggested he speak from behind bulletproof vest. Not yet, Erica recalled Kirk replying before he added that he felt confident in his security team that there would be additional security at the Utah Valley University event. So yeah, he put his trust in his security team there. So, but this is just more to the bullet thing. And then here's another one from the New York Times that also goes to that too, kind of on the same thing. And kind of reporting, once again, and more reporting on it. So it goes a little bit more into it. But yeah, so we've had multiple people reporting that Erica Kirk said this, which I guess begging her husband to start wearing it doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't, but it's looking like he wasn't. It's like everyone's still like holding out that like to somehow make it make sense, but everything's just seeming that he wasn't. I'm surprised they didn't try to use that, but I think they probably just know that enough people come out and go, no, he fucking wasn't. Like we have him on video, and like you really can basically see he's wearing a white shirt. You can like see his nips and shit. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe a lot of people have like theorized like, oh, he had some fancy one, but yeah, but then like, was it level 4? Come on. And then we also, this doesn't, as has been pointed out, this doesn't mean much. But apparently, this was, so this one was manufactured, I guess, before serial numbers were mandated to be on. I found other ones that found like more specific things. Like I guess with the Mausers, I think certain eras of the Mausers did have the serial numbers, certain didn't. This one came, I believe, shortly before that cutoff. So a lot of people pointed out, like not only all of that, it also can't be traced. So not that like, as I've had people point out, like the idea of like it being traced, that it doesn't. It's not like you really can trace guns all that well necessarily, depending on what state you're in and this and that. Like, so it doesn't really mean that much per se, but it's just a kind of a little cherry on top. I think it's just kind of like a little interesting. Like, oh yeah, and they also not only how convenient was it that the gun also doesn't even have any like distinguishable things that would really make it like you could do, I don't know, narrow it down any further. It's just a generic gun. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with now. It's really all I gotta say. Oh, there is one. I guess on the this kind of fits in the topic of kind of what I'm getting at with people that are kind of earlier. Like, actually, I don't know if I did comment on it. I thought I did. Maybe I did or didn't. But in my head, I've thought about this for sure. I can never remember what's in my head and what I've said to you guys. Sometimes you guys are making me schizophrenic. But I thought this one was weird because I had one, which by the way, buddy from the fan of the show, John Black, appreciate, much love, buddy. But he shared when I shared this about when I first shared this whatever thread kind of thing. He shared from Josie saying per the surgeon who received Charlie, he was shot in the chest. His chest caved in and the bullet ricocheted up to his neck, severing his spine, paralyzing him. It's likely he died on impact, but it also was reported he was briefly stable, so maybe they got him back. Which this was on September 17th, 4 days ago. I mean, I don't know where Josie got this from. I couldn't find anyone saying that. And as many people pointed out, this would have been a HIPAA violation. So this is, I don't know. This is something to keep in mind. And I know Josie, so I don't know what happened here. But I think this is probably a perfect example of what happens in these spheres. Because, like, you look at Josie. I mean, I've met her in person. And I like her. She's a nice lady. But she has almost 1 million followers. And then you have people like these Ryan Matas, which, I mean, I don't know. I haven't never been really particularly that impressed with him, to be honest with you. He does just okay, I guess. But like, but then you have the Ryan Matas of the world, which are kind of these larger, I'd say semi-slop. I mean, be upset if you want. I don't really give a shit. But, not that Ryan watches this, but then between him and then like some of these other larger accounts, like the one I showed a minute ago, I forget his name, is like Michael something or other. These like larger kind of accounts. Well, how this works, how these things percolate, and if I had to guess, I don't know. I've never asked Josie this, but I know some people have larger accounts and stuff. They do like these people like send them this like, oh, here's this, here's that, and so like, and then they just kind of get this information. Like they have like stringers. It's kind of like journalism where you have somebody, hey, here's this information, here's that information, and I mean, I don't know where she's getting this thing stuff, but like, trust me, or just keep in mind when you see Trust Me Bros. Just, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about this. So she just, per the surgeon, which once again, that'd be a HIPAA violation. So I don't know. This is, I don't know what to make of this. So just, I thought that was meaningful and I thought that was fucking weird. And at the very least, there's something to be said about whatever this is. Just at the very least, people be aware, don't always just take it, because I'm sure there's lots of people who just took this and were like, yep, Josie said, and I guess she knows people, so that's what happened. So, because this would be, like, in my opinion, probably correspond with what it would look like had he been shot in the chest, and, like, maybe there was some sort of, like, glance and it did hit him in the throat. Like, yeah, like, he probably would have taken such an impact, like, they probably would have caved his chest in, yeah. But I don't know where that came from. I have no idea. I'm open to being like, maybe she did get some information, but I looked around. I couldn't see anything that supported this. So it's just a trust me, bro. Which I guess this means that Josie has some sort of inside lane with the surgeon, which bizarre to me. But all right, let's roll the chat. Then we'll get into the next portion. See what you guys got to say. Ominous Globalist saying he's running late. Well, don't worry. I'm taking way too long, so I'm probably not going to finish this early anyways. So Justin Valentine says, funny how bullets only do funny things when they pass through political figures. Filthy Casual says, just feel like they're trying to appeal all the Christians on some, oh my God, Jesus protected everyone that day. Ted said he did have a big-ass head. It is neck, though. So let me see. Yeah, Ominous says level is not invisible. I think you meant level 4. Yeah, like you would be able to see that shit. Yeah, Mortal says correct. Even if you had level 4 on and it hits your chest, your ribs are broken and heart might stop from the jolt. Yes. Yep. That checks out. Let me see. Man, getting too many, y'all. Let me see. What else you guys got? Who sounds drunk? Real John Doe 2. You talking about Alex Jones? He always sounds drunk, so... And Mortal saying it wasn't much of an incline from the shooter to him, basically straight on. Yeah, I think it was like basically like maybe like a 20-degree angle. Like from my understanding of like where I mean, obviously I haven't looked at it, but I mean, if you look, I would assume probably like I've only seen of all the, I guess take this for its worth, all the different people I've seen online, I've seen like one person that was able to be like give an anecdotal example of this, and it was just some anonymous thing online, and they said they shot like a deer maybe or elk or something from like a damn near like almost like they were literally on a cliff. They were like up on they said an over 2-story cliff, and it was like damn near directly below them. So they like barely fired down into it. So like, and somehow the bullet like, so like, okay, the bullets, they recovered the bullet out of the animal's body later. So that, okay, that's believable perhaps, but yeah, I don't know. Seems a bit much to me. Let me see. I'm scrolling through the chat, seeing what you guys say. Yeah, Rise of Liberty says downward angle thing is absolutely insane. The bullet would definitely have too much velocity at distance to be able to behave that strangely. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense to me. Fire Big says between JFK, Trump, and Charlie, whose bullet was the most magical, right? Milk built strong bones, says Daniel Boone. Yeah, dude, I drink so much goddamn milk. I go through at this point, I go through probably literally a gallon probably every 2 or 3 days. I swear, if this checks out, if this logic checks out, I'm just gonna flex if I feel like I might get shot. And I think I could just fucking. If Charlie Kirk can fucking just take it and just throw, then I can just fucking flex and just fucking bounce right off. Oh, it's so retarded. Good morning, Tinfoil Tiara. Must have bones of steel. Yeah. Let me see. These assassins definitely don't like to cook, says Justin. Let me see. Scrolling through, seeing what you guys gotta say. The fucking head of the Utah FBI got fired 1 month before the shit went down, says Gerald Hall. I thought it was actually 2 weeks, but it might be about a month. Justin Valentine says SD cards safe for the FBI now. Good call, Justin Valentine, because I forgot the one specific thing about that was interesting, as Ken actually pointed out that I forgot to comment on, is he was saying oh, so she has she has these or whatever. A lot of people have gone misunderstood this because she said in her stream she never had them. Supposedly her story is he showed them to her. But then it is weird that supposedly the FBI has them. So it's so when did he send them to the FBI? Did he send them copies? Why is this guy not in jail for obstructing justice or something? I don't know. I would think, I don't know. This seems weird to me. Gerald Hall says Cash Patel is literally dating a former Mossad employee. Gerald said it, not me, for legal reasons. Kyle Surfin's currently being fired for that. So... Fire Pixie says, but there were 3 cameras down there. We only took 1 camera down. Huh. I'll have to go back and see if you're right there. If there are other cameras visible there and he only took the 1, that'd be interesting. I didn't catch that. Yeah, Justin says just like that footage from OKC in 95. Yep, we ain't seeing that shit. Just like we haven't seen this footage yet, which, I guess at this point, what I was kind of driving at with the Candace thing is I feel like there's possibly a chance. I don't know how these things shook out behind the scenes because we hadn't heard about the bullet, we hadn't anything, and then we hear about Candace comes out with this supposedly she's seen it and that's fishy, and then shortly after, then we have this Colvey guy come out saying, yeah, I'm having a brain fart. Oh, what was I fucking talking about? What were we talking about? Dude, I totally my brain went, what? All right, I totally lost the thread there. My bad. Oh, the footage. Where were we with that? Whatever. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I promise I'm completely sober. Actually, I have a lot of coffee. Just, there's so much going on in the world. And I'm actually still on my first fucking topic. And I'm at 2 hours deep. And I still have plenty to go through. God damn it. They can indeed get the fuck out of here. Oh, I remember I was talking about the specifics on how it came out. God, the way it floated out. Oh, it's going to the FBI. Whatever. I forgot where I was at in that thread of thought. So, Gerald Hall says Jose stacks plates and lift them multiple times in a controlled manner. Fuck yeah, I do. Okay, we're kind of catching up in the chat. It says guy allegedly practiced shooting a lot, missed Trump 8 times, and this bozo hits Kirk with 1 failed shot. It's a bit hard to swallow. Daniel Boone says check out the Valhalla guy. His last 2 videos destroy this narrative. Yeah, I've been watching some of his stuff. I've been watching too many, which to be fair, a lot of those guys, I don't really know his story. A lot of those guys are probably gay glowies too. So, take their word with a grain of salt, but it does seem to be the consensus against anybody who's killed people or killed things that what the fuck? What are you talking about? That seems to be the general consensus. So, yeah. Conrail. Just some information on Josie. She applauded Trump when he assassinated Qasem Soleimani back in 2020, at least not very critical of it. I'd be cautious of her takes. Yeah, I don't know. I like her personally. But yeah, we definitely have different takes on things, that's for sure. What else? The Kirk shooting was a 7-degree drop. Oh, you fucking no. If that's true, but Jacob just said here that it was a 7-degree drop, you can get the fuck out of here. Suck my dick. What? Yeah, if it's a 7-degree drop, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. All right. Let's where are we at? Let's get into the next topic. I'm caught up in the chat. Let's see how far I can cruise this because I want to handle this topic gingerly because it is I don't know. How do I? You'll see. This has been a thing as of late. I'll just go ahead and present it. I think you guys will get where I'm going with it. Oh, actually, I don't think I have it up. Goddamn StreamYard. Well, that one's my fault, actually. I can't blame StreamYard. Sorry, guys.
And at the end of the day, she's just stupid and defines low IQ anti-Semitism. I used to think it didn't exist. I used to think that low IQ anti-Semitism is just something that Jewish people would say.
I'm sorry this is so quiet, guys, but
Counter the rising tide of people acknowledging Jewish power. Now I'm convinced it's real. And it has a name. That name is Candace Owens Farmer. Low IQ anti-Semitism. The idea that Charlie Kirk was silenced for being about to go against Israel, it's just, on its face, absurd and ridiculous. And at the end of the day, she's just stupid and defines low IQ anti-Semitism. I used to think it didn't exist.
oh, it's starting over again. I'm sorry, I got zoned out. Okay, so you guys caught that. It was I know it was quiet. He's shitting on Candace, saying, "Oh, I used to think low IQ anti-Semitism didn't exist." The first half of that, whatever. I don't really care. This is him and his weird little vendetta against Candace. Which, don't get me wrong, like I have no problem pointing out where Candace has gone things wrong and this and that. I have before, and I would never say trust anything she says. It just seems weird. Whatever. But I'm gonna get it though. They have a thing. She did some weird, shitty thing where it seemed to like kind of, I don't know. I understand where he's coming from somewhat, but so like whatever. But then it leaks into this. Let's watch this.
Low IQ anti-Semitism. The idea that Charlie Kirk.
So the idea that Charlie Kirk, I'm just repeating it in case you guys can't hear it well.
Was silenced for being about to go against Israel. It's just
about to go against Israel.
On its face.
It's just on its face.
Absurd and ridiculous.
Absurd and ridiculous. Which, to be fair, this is a 40-second clip. I didn't watch this whole stream, nor will I. I don't really fucking care. But I think that right there in kind of a nutshell is what I think a lot of people have been kind of really fucking irritated about as of late. I've noticed certain audiences, and it's even been recognized by certain individuals. It seems to be a certain spirit in the air, as you could say. And this was my take on it. This is I called this section "Gatekeepers" in quotes, getting the call in quotes, kind of like a kind of play on like I'm not necessarily saying they're exactly gatekeepers or they're getting the call, but like obviously it's just kind of a good topic name. And this is what I had to say. I said, and this is more specifically aimed at the vibe of at Nick, but I think it applies to others as well. What I said here was all the hemming and hawing about being so absurd and ridiculous that Israel could theoretically kill an integral mouthpiece that was looking like he was going to turn at them at one of their most important times in their ongoing crusade for Satan is frankly detached from reality. They could, and they would, and shit looks a little fishy. Did they? I don't know. We still know almost nothing, and what we do know makes little to no sense on multiple levels. Stop being faggots. I don't give a fuck about your gay lectures. I'll speculate all I fucking want. The death of Kirk did not make you the new gatekeepers. In fact, it likely kicked the gate wide the fuck open, so suck my dick. And I mean it. I mean that. I truly mean that. Okay, so it's like the part was a little bit hard, but I do think to some degree, I think that's a message people need to take in. And they need to understand. I think it's a message that I just think may not be getting through to some people, and I don't understand why. And there seems to be a disconnect between this and I don't know what it is. We can call it, as I did imply, perhaps the gatekeeping. And I think this could be something that's done. This could be something that's done completely subconsciously. Like you don't even realize. It's just incentives that are in place. You kind of being this rising figure or figures. And just kind of and now a vacuum in the market has been created by the death of a major figure. And it's kind of like this concept I've explained before of kind of like how the old media is dying and now like the Tim Pools of the world are now the fucking corporate media essentially. And they're the massive faggots. And so now we're having this shifting of things. And now we had another big dent in this. Charlie Kirk died. And as I mentioned before, this kind of applies to the whole gatekeeping or kicking the gate wide open. As I mentioned, I think many people, whether consciously or subconsciously, have gotten this message that, as I pointed out before, if, especially, even just the idea that this narrative got seeded out almost immediately, this Israel thing, whether it's true or not, the very idea this got seeded out immediately, I think it like a lot of people, whether subconsciously or not, realize, oh shit, that's a pretty definitive point where like, at where Kirk is at, whatever that level, that's where like, and where he's at, and his whatever the fuck his path, like that is like anything here or above, like yo, dude, you're fucking shit glows, shit. Like these aren't the genuine truth tellers that you want. This isn't who you want to go to for news. And like, so I think people realize like, hey, this is clearly the fact that this ran to this point. I think people realize there's other factors out there that influence decisions, and people are like very clearly convinced at that level that is a reality. And I think it's the truth. And so I think people are realizing like, oh shit. And so I think this likely will probably kind of almost be the final death nail of sorts in like, or maybe the start of the end of these figures in the whatever, like essentially anything above Charlie Kirk or around Charlie Kirk's position. But I think that those slightly below him, it kind of creates a vacuum effect where they fill it whether subconsciously or consciously. And so I think naturally just they kind of create this gatekeeping effect. But like I said, I think this kind of kicks the gate wide open. And ironically, this behavior that they're engaging in perhaps right now, whether purposeful or not, I am in no way implying any sort of negative motive, could be just completely incentives. They're kicking the gate further open for us. So keep going to some extent. I mean, there's some of these people in this one that are like, these are people I respected. And this is what people have this disconnect. Where like, but at the same time also especially with what Kirk possibly, I know why people are theorizing, getting the call. A lot of these people in mind, especially like a Nick Fuentes, if you are at all theorizing that something could have happened to a Charlie Kirk, and if there is some sort of, we're in this sphere of danger and shit popping off, well, I can also get why people would be like, well, the certain cast of people we're referring to are probably up there. I mean, I hate to say it because you almost feel like you might be manifesting it, and I like a lot of these people, but it is what it is, and this is why people make these assumptions. There's some people are recognizing, and I also will say perhaps there's a naivete. Perhaps I know a lot of these people will kind of have always, these people that I'm talking about have kind of been prey to the forces I was speaking to before. Kind of like how the Tim Pools have become like awful. They were kind of in this space between like the me's and them's. So like, they're kind of, anyways, so I forgot where I was going with that one. So I kind of covered the gatekeeping. I just think people are seeing a disparity between that. It's just that they're like, I was speaking to the naivete. Like kind of like a lot of these people have stuck on the straight and narrow. I have a feeling that if I ask, I'd be surprised if Nick Fuentes knows what the Dutroux affair is. And I bet you if he does, he's probably dismissive of it. Or the McMartin case, or many other of these things, which to some degree I get, because these people don't really dig into these certain things, and as soon as it becomes dubious or not respectable, a lot of times they bounce out. They go, oh, we got that one report in the McMartin case, so we'll just move on, and they never hear about the subsequent reports. And they're like, well, that's already been disproven. So, and it's part of this mentality, this respectable, this cum guzzling of the intellectuals above you, which we don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck about intellectuals. I care about intellect. So I don't know. It's. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off on this, but that's the vibe I'm getting. And to kind of make this point, to continue on this, we have Nick here saying, first, there's a coordinated top-down campaign to frame me and the Groypers for Charlie Kirk's murder. Now there's a coordinated campaign to accuse me of covering up Israel's supposed role in Charlie Kirk's murder. Something very suspicious is happening right now. But I don't know. I think people are off-put by the degree to which you find this ridiculous. And I understand that to some degree there sort of is no evidence yet, although I actually disagree with that. Let's look up. I'm going to look up right now. What is the definition of evidence? The available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. So all this is information that makes an indication one way or another, perhaps towards something being true or valid. I think we have a fuckload of evidence. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, would I say this would rises to Maybe, let's even say like in a court of law, would it rise to reasonable suspicion? Probably not. I don't really know what the definition of reasonable suspicion in a court of law is, but probably not. Like in sort of legal terms, would you be able to convict? No. But by golly, do we have means and motive likely? And we have some other dots that are like, these look a little suspicious. And I'm completely open to speculating because I'm not a little bitch. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't I? If as long as I see it, and like, obviously, what things like Ian Carroll did, where he goes, Israel did it. Yeah, that's retarded, and call him retarded. Like, the end. But like, I'm gonna fucking speculate, and you can suck my dick. Like, that really is what it comes down to. And I don't think it's ridiculous. Look right here. We're looking at right now the list of Israeli assassinations. Oh, by the way, I just realized audio was out earlier. I hope I didn't lose it with you guys, but I did read it. The only thing I had on earlier was a video, was them. So, or was a whatever. So that works. But yeah, let's scroll through this. Here's a list of Israeli assassinations. I tried to find specifically political ones, but this is assassinations. Let's scroll through this, starting from 1950. Let's do. This is, by the way, for the audio people, I'm scrolling through. I'm not gonna read all these because it'd be insane. I'm gonna scroll through these. This is on Wikipedia from 1950s till now, and I'm gonna give you, I guess, the Jeopardy music while I do it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm gonna have to put timestamps on these do-do-do's just for you guys. I'm sorry I'm doing this to you, but I'm making a point. Oh, Jesus Christ, we got to the end. And we got the latest, September 9th, 2025. Humam al-Haya, and then Khalad Masha, and then Khalil al-Haya. And these are people they just killed in Qatar. So did I make my point or what? Like, if I come up to someone's house and I go, wow, what a beautiful granite countertop you have here. And then I go, this looks like beautiful workmanship. And he goes, hey, guess who did it? Just guess who did it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm probably going to bring up my phone. I'm going to look up, hey, who are the leaders in this industry? I'm going to go, oh, wow, this remarkable granite countertops in RICO. Oh, wow. Or RICO, whatever countertops is made up a place somewhat nearby. I bet you if I had to guess, I'd put them near the top of my list. Don't you fucking think? And then Mel buttresses this point here. It says Charlie Kirk commanded an operation capable of producing 10 to 15 point swing in the unicorn voter demographic of 18 to 25-year-olds. Stop pretending like he was just another podcaster or a political pundit. No one would have killed Charlie because he sometimes said mean things or spoke inconvenient truths. Not Charlie Robinson, not the left, not Israel, not the deep state, no one. Whoever did this did it because Israel had real tangible power in the form of a nationwide voting machine and messaging network. And they correctly understood that Charlie was the beating heart of TPUSA. Without him, it's going to fracture and eventually split apart. It'll never be the powerhouse it once was. It's not a knock on Erica. It's just a sad reality. This is why comparing Charlie to someone like Alex Jones or Tucker Carlson is totally pointless. Nothing against those two. I like them both. But in terms of calculable influence, that's like comparing an afternoon breeze to a hurricane. Even comparing him to Nick Fuentes misses the mark. Yes, Fuentes has immense influence with his followers, but he doesn't have the infrastructure in place yet to put real points on the board in an election. Anyone who's worked around Republican electoral politics for more than 5 years knows exactly how special what Charlie built is. And if you understand that, you understand the motive for his murder. And she's right. She is right. And then I think what might play into this as well is shit like this. Let me double check and make sure that of course it's not working. Give me a minute. Of course I have my StreamYard's glitching, so let me fix that real quick. Sorry. Bringing it up real quick, like. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here's Moskowitz in the latest back and forth with Kash Patel.
No, there are extremes on the left, and there are extremes on the right. And we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and my condolences on the loss of your friend. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platforms. Okay, it's crazy what's going on the social media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life all day. It is totally rampant. Big names on the right, Candace Owens, right? Talking about how what's been released as far as the dialogue between the perpetrator and his roommate is manufactured by the FBI, manufactured by the administration. It is totally rampant, allowing foreign governments to just perpetrate these platforms, all of these bots, all of the time to weaponize Americans. You see what's going on here? This is a byproduct of all of that. What's going on in the streets is a byproduct of all of that. What's happening is you see people celebrate Luigi Mangione is a byproduct of all of that. And so if we want to do something, then we should talk about Section 230. We should talk about how we're going to make sure that we don't let foreign governments poison our children's mind. And so I will work with you on that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem.
Well, he seemed to like that one, huh? All right, let's get into some more of this fun anti-Semitism content. So yeah, the point being is obviously there's a push amongst certain powers that be to make this nonsense a thing, and also I think perhaps I'm kind of driving it. Perhaps this could be another contributing factor here. All right, I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna go off screen for a minute. Don't think much of it. I gotta go take a leak.
So first of all, I have to ask you, how did we reach a situation that Prime Minister Netanyahu needs to clarify today that Israel was not involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
Because there are some people in the United States that have lost their minds. This is a blood libel. It's absolutely disgusting and vicious. The level of untruth is such that it's hard even to think that you have to defend it, that you have to repudiate it. But there are people who will believe the most outrageous lies. And I guess we should learn from history that this is not something new, but it is new in the U.S. It's something that we're not used to seeing, is these extraordinary untruths being said about Israel as if Israel is to blame for anything in the world. I'm wondering what's next. Did they kidnap the Lindbergh baby in the 20s? Did they bring down the Hindenburg in the 30s? I mean, where does this stop? And it's really, really disgusting, but I'm very glad the Prime Minister addressed it. I know some people probably thought he doesn't need to address that, but truthfully, you got to push back on this nonsense.
This is the point to add that Charlie Kirk was a true friend of Israel.
True friend of mine. I've known.
I do find it funny that because obviously it seems like Huckabee got thrown out here as a way to I don't know be like somewhat explain Netanyahu 33 times fucking saying I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. I'm just kidding, but obviously I wouldn't be surprised if it was 33 times at this rate. Let's go ahead and play. Here is a other despicable J. Not that they're all despicable, but this guy is a despicable J. This is what's his name? I don't even remember what his name is. Hammer? Josh Hammer? By the way, keep in mind, I ratio the absolute fuck out of him anytime. Like, there's been one time where I was just giving him shit. And this isn't to suck my own dick. If anything, it's to more make a point on, like, kind of, I guess, even what I was getting at earlier in the perception versus reality and this media game and kind of what's going on. I forget, how did I look it up? I looked up, because I found he did a podcast, and I was just curious, what is this guy about? What does he do? I think he does write. But you kind of get an idea of what, like, okay, to be fair, I guess maybe he's not explicitly a podcaster. Well, actually, it's not true. He puts out regular podcasts last time I checked. That is his thing. You look at his reviews and shit. I had like, I mean, maybe it's changed since then because he's, I don't know, maybe the Jews caught on to it and fucking shit. We got to AstroTurf this because this is pretty clearly like people. But like, I was able to go through his metrics, and I think I even one time made fun of him on the show. Like, my metrics like dwarf his, and like, I'm not at all saying like I fucking am amazing at all. I'm a pretty small show. I don't make like a lot from this at all. I wish I made more. I wish I could go full time with this. I mean, but it's really only just my current current situation and other things I have going on in the Naples. It's not really so much this. It helps. I mean, you guys can contribute. Go to patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. But I'm just saying, but now this guy's a fucking full-time fucking writer and this and that, and then his fucking podcast gets like probably a half of the viewership I get, as mine is a small show. Like, I can't live off this. Like, I don't even get, like, it's not like I'm not even getting anywhere near like 50K a year or even like a small, like, I'm, like, how much do you think this guy's making? He's just fucking bleeding money. Like, and just so you're aware of what the game is. And this game can only work for so long. And it requires some fear and violence to make it work. So let's see what he has to say. No, I didn't have this tab shared. Sorry. Let's play again. Of course. God damn it, StreamYard. I'm sorry. Oh, God, I hate StreamYard so fucking much. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Sorry, you had to see that little outburst from me. God, what the fuck, dude? All right, let's go ahead and play. Why literally every fucking video I swap over, as soon as I swap tabs and it glitches out. Let's play.
Get paid by Qatar. It does seem like there is this intent with a faction on the right, and I'm not saying they get paid by Qatar, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. That just wants to drive division between Jewish conservatives and Christian conservatives, and it seems so completely blatant. And I hope other people are seeing this. What's your thought?
Yeah, Dana, I'll be as blunt as possible with you. When I look at someone like Candace Owens and frankly, increasingly Tucker Carlson these days, when I look at what they are saying on basically a day-to-day basis with this cynical, self-serving attempt to turn literally anything to the Jews. And let's be clear here, Charlie Kirk's assassin was a leftist, indoctrinated, transgender adjacent furry fetishish. Okay?
And let me interject. Isn't them trying to insist otherwise exactly what the legacy press is doing?
Yes.
So they're on the press's side by doing this.
Yes, ironically, and by the way, they're on the press's side when it comes to Israel as well, because the press hates Israel, so do they. So, it's kind of funny how that works, right? But, back to your question, when I look at what Candace is talking about on day-to-day, Tucker on a day-to-day there, a lot of these other folks there, it is genuinely hard for me to conclude that they want any other result than the expulsion of the Jews from Spain, back in the time of Queen Isabella in the late 1400s. I mean, is that literally your end goal? I think the goal is definitely, it's unambiguously to drive a wedge between Christian conservatives like you and Jewish conservatives like me. That much is very clear. I think it's arguably even worse than that. They basically want a Judenrein right. They want an American right that does not have any prominent Jews in it. And taken to its logical conclusion, I think it's probably not a far stretch to say they want a United States without any Jews in it either. I think that is definitely a creeping thing in the back of the mind, whether they realize it or not, at least when they're getting, a little hot and bothered, shall we say, sometimes.
But they have no problem with the Qataris, and they have no problem apparently with Hamas.
All right, what do we even need to say to that? The guy's a faggot, and that's retarded. Your shit's so fucked and gay. All right, let's watch this. Here is once again the state of Israel protesting too much. Remember that do 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 I just did for you guys. Well, remember that. Keep them in the back of your head as you listen to this fucking bullshit.
Is Mossad responsible for the death of? Is Mossad responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk?
Absolutely not. I mean, we have nothing to do with it. Mossad is not doing this kind of stuff. We're not involved in political assassinations. We never were. And this is super false and evil. I know that everything that has happened around the world, I mean, Mossad would be the first one, I mean, the prime suspect, right? I mean, even the tsunami, someone offered that it is a Mossad job, I mean, to make sure that whatever, I mean, countries will be disappearing or whatever it is. I mean, it's not true. Of course not. We don't do that. And we will never do. I mean, this is nothing that we do. So bottom line, Mossad is not part of it. We will never be part of this kind of stuff. I mean, we don't do that. I mean, we let democracies run their own, and we will never be part of any kind of these plots. And more than that, I think that it has to be carefully looked upon. What is there that mainly young people are digesting as false news or false information that they
Guys, Mossad didn't do it. They said so. All right. Well, then here's more. They had more to add to this one we're about to watch. You'll see what probably, but I just want to let you guys know ahead of time that I probably will go more into this later. I am cutting out a few segments as we go because there's like shit. I'm still only on the second main topic out of 3. And so I was like, I had to cut out a little fat. There were a couple other things I want to go to that I'll just have to push off to another show. But so I'm just letting you guys know this little tidbit. I do intend on paying this off later, especially because I do think it really added to my point of making fun of the people, or maybe not making fun might be the wrong way, but hopefully maybe if any of them do see that, which I doubt they would see it, but if they do, maybe they would take it as like a, oh shit, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the exact predicament. Obviously, if they are somehow genuinely concerned about their safety, they know something, well, that's a different predicament, and it's obviously like, well, I don't know that, and if I did know that, then I'd probably be like, oh yeah, if you genuinely think something's going to happen, you don't do. Do I really think it's the case? Probably not. I don't know. Probably not likely. But it's possible. It's definitely possible. And I think it's honestly, and even to act like it's ridiculous to suggest that, I think is ridiculous, frankly. So I just don't think that's the chance, or that's that likely. But yeah, I guess hopefully maybe if they do see, they could see it's constructive, because it's to some extent I'm also like, well, I want you guys to be better, because it'd be cool if you guys could just not be faggots. That'd be great. So anyways, let's go ahead and play this.
Of course, it was wedged between the 2 giant Israeli bodyguards the whole way.
If you want security, the Israelis know what they're doing.
Exactly. So it was not the vacation I planned.
You want to hear something funny about that one little 10-second clip? Well, I'm about to tell you. This is from over at Sean McCarthy, at Sean McCarthy.com. It's funny enough, he named his account. I know he does this occasionally. The FBI guy uses ChatGPT to fake Patsy confessions. And what he said here is slightly odd. In April, Charlie Kirk appears on Bill Maher's Club Random. It opens with a discussion of Kirk having to have security. However, on Maher's channel, the part where they both discussed using Israelis for their security is edited out. It remains on Kirk's YouTube channel. Now, I just want to let you guys know we will dig into that, because it's obviously like this ties into everything we're talking about, and kind of like, hey, oh yeah, you're so fucking, oh, it's absurd and ridiculous to think fucking Israel Day. Oh, it's so fucking ridiculous. Shut the fuck up, you fucking idiots. Although it's not true. You guys aren't idiots. But it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's if it is like a genuinely the take, it is like it's I guess genius and midwittery can somehow exist simultaneously. That's the only thing I would think. I don't know. And to be fair, not everyone's saying exactly what Nick has said, but that's kind of been what I think a lot of the vibe a lot of people are getting out of certain figures is that like, that's ridiculous. Oh, you got, Like, obviously, like, if you're specifically referring to Ian Carroll, I haven't seen anyone that I know of, aside from Ian Carroll, it was Israel. Which, to the point of people thinking he's a glowy, we're like, go ahead and make fun of him. I mean, I don't know if that necessarily means one thing or another, but, like, this dum-dum just right off the tree, fucking, they did it! We're like, okay, well, that was dumb, but I haven't seen anyone else do that. I really haven't. And I'm going to conspiracy theorize all the fuck I want. Because I'm theorizing. It's a theory. And yeah, there might be like reasons to believe that, but like, even if there's not, even if I'm like, is the earth flat? Suck my dick. I'm going to think about it. If I want to talk out loud about it, I will too. Now, I guess I will say, like, if you do see me, like, I guess, I don't know, if you're able to see me thinking through these and you're like, your logic is retarded, then I get it. You're going to be like, I'm a bounce. I don't need to have this sort of, but I don't know. I just discuss things, and if I kind of run through my logic through it, and I don't know, nothing's, I guess, really all too ridiculous to think. I don't know. Anyways, I'm rambling now. But let's get into the last topic, and let's try to get out of here. I told my wife 2 hours. She's going to be like, what the fuck? But I got to get through this last stuff, because I do think it's important, especially with everything going on. And I think the powers that be, they do this shit on weekends just to fuck me. Just to fuck me. Keep the news till Monday, asshole. But anyways, we do see there's some wild shit going on, and as like I do feel like it's important to cover this shit before it disappears into the old ether of the news cycle. But we have old Jeet scammer here, the old homo Jeet scam. Kash Patel saying, as a director of FBI, I'm committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence as emerged, but our efforts extend beyond initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text message confession and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot and bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hands gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 2, 2025. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus is to complete this investigation and deliver justice. To protect the integrity of the investigation and subsequent prosecution, we cannot release every piece of information we have to the public right now. We will ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate moment. Regarding specific details, such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off its transponder after departing from an airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot and consultation with the FAA, we determined the transponder was not turned off. Incomplete flight data in rural areas caused the apparent gap. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served, and our investigation into this assassination will continue until every question is answered. So that's the latest. This was at 1, so it was like 5 hours ago. Now, obviously, it's interesting that he's like, oh, we're going to investigate all these things, which seems like, oh shit, they're getting suspicious, so I got to at least like, hey, we're looking into it. And you're like, well, yeah, that's the problem. You're the one coming with this information. We're going, for the most part, I mean, some of it's coming from other places, and we're going, what the fuck? So, we're aware you're investigating it, and we're saying you're doing a fucking whack job. But anyways, and then he goes, he did answer the transponder thing, which I don't know how much I accept that. I never really got too much into that anyways, because it was like, seemed like far too technical of a thing for me to like really get too big into. It's like someone's telling me some flight data did something. I don't know. I guess they confirmed there was some sort of gap duration. Now we have Brett McDonald saying here, which is actually Cassandra's husband, but says, how long was the gap duration? I didn't look into this conspiracy theory at the time, but mountainous rural regions should only produce gaps measuring in seconds and minutes. So, yeah, I mean, I know something to look out for is that perhaps there's something to that. I didn't really jump on that one at first because it seemed like, I don't know, this seemed like one that could easily be wrong. And how most people don't even know how to verify that. I don't even know how to verify that. Like, I don't know anything. Like, so it's just a useless piece of information to me. All right, let's get into last topic for today. Just kind of the possibility of Gladio. We're in a weird time, and we've had in the past like couple days, quite a few things happen. I'm going to kind of speed run through all these, but I think people should be aware of. Don't fall, because they're trying to manipulate your emotions. Don't fall for it. So for one, there was another person. This is related to the funeral, which luckily it seems like this didn't work out. But it says a man carrying a tactical knife, at least one firearm, and inactive law enforcement credentials has been taken into custody at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, ahead of the planned Charlie Kirk memorial service, where more than 100,000 people are expected to attend. So we had that right before the funeral. They busted some guy with that. Luckily, they got him before anything could have come of that. And then we had it recently that didn't really get covered too much. There was a shooting up of an ABC affiliate. So this is from Colin Rugg, the man who shot up the ABC. Actually, let's watch this. Let's watch the video. Let me check, and we'll watch that. Let me make sure it's working. It is. All right, let's play it.
A 64-year-old man named Hannibal Hernandez Santana has been arrested as the suspect in the shooting that led to an investigation here at ABC 10 in Sacramento along Broadway. And as the sun has risen this morning, you can see for yourself plywood over one of the windows in the lobby there. Now, earlier in the day on Friday, police were called here in response to shots fired from outside the ABC 10's building. No one was injured despite the building being occupied at the time. 3 bullet holes were seen in the window on the building's lobby, and that's when the investigation began. Later the same day, KCRA3 saw police in the River Park neighborhood, including SWAT teams. A witness at the scene reported seeing a man tackled and then taken into custody. Sacramento police thanked the FBI for providing resources in its investigation and have asked anyone with further information to contact their department.
So we got that shooting too, the Jimmy Kimmel thing, and then on top of all of that, we have another one this was last night. So it was in New Hampshire. So let's go and play this.
I heard. So when you say that he was walking to the party, was this actually...
By the way, it says 1 dead, multiple injured in New Hampshire country club after a radical leftist screamed, "Free, free Palestine," and started shooting. And it says leftists are all homicidal sociopaths. Well, excuse me if that seems all the fuck too convenient. So, but I know obviously more will come on this later. Who knows? Maybe it was a genuine Palestine activist, but I'm going to put doubt on that bitch.
I heard.
So when you say that he was walking to the party, was this actually at the wedding venue?
No, he was not in the wedding venue. He was in the restaurant. And basically he must have came through, went right, it looked like a target that he was going right for this person. So I feel terrible for him.
Did he dress him by name? Did you get the sense that they knew who?
Didn't hear anything. He just came out and said,
What he said?
Yeah, what he said was the children are safe and, free Palestine. I heard.
Okay, so you got an old guy saying, "Oh, he said free Palestine," and then you have all these idiots you can scroll through here, and all these people making fun of Muslims because they're fucking retarded. Because that totally makes sense. It was totally free Palestine because that totally makes sense. That's what they would do. I don't know. But all right, let's roll through the chat. We're done. We're done for today. But I want to talk to you guys. See what you guys got to say. Check in before we get on out of here. I think we're pretty much caught up with the chat. I think we got everything. There was stuff I did want to cover, but man, we're already almost 2.5 hours. And I had at least probably 30 to 45 minutes of other stuff that oof, yeah. All right, let's roll through the chat. See what else. Rise of Liberty saying rural areas causing a gap in the flight info. Absolutely ridiculous, insane to say that doesn't happen. Let me see. All right, who else? Who else in the chat? Jose the Hannibal Cannibal Garcia Galison, says Gerald Hall. Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird name they have. And Jose, get your fucking QR code so we can send you money. No, I don't want your fucking money. Just kidding. I do want your money. And for those who do want to give me money, or actually for those who don't want to give me money, I'll give you those plugs real quick. Leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can also follow me on Twitter at TowerGangJose. Keep in mind, if you want to find me on different platforms, I'm on YouTube. I'm also on Rumble, and then all the audio podcatchers. I got the fucking accent in my mind. Or one of the podcatchers. Pretty much anywhere you get podcasts at, you can pretty much find me at, and then YouTube, Rumble as well. So I'm out there. You can find me all the platforms, and then for those who want to support me in the best way you really can, did I say 5-star reviews? Leave them fucking 5-star reviews. They help out a lot, and that way I can flex more on Josh Hammer and say he sucks ass, because he does. Because that's what I based those metrics off, was all my 5-star reviews, and that was, I think, before I was even pushing you guys for 5-star reviews. I think that actually was a moment where I was like, I need to add those to my plugs, just like an extra flex on Josh Hammer. You can suck my dick. But anyways, yeah, so learn to read metrics, people. But help a brother out. Leave some 5-star reviews. If you want to help me in the best way you can, though, that is with money. Because I would like to be able to the point where I make as much money as Josh Hammer doing this. It's not it only is a point of pride that I dwarf him in any sort of legitimate. Once you take the bots out of the equation, I fucking just bend him over the barrel. That only goes so far. I'd like it to extend that to taking care of everything around here. That'd be cool. Think how much more effort I could put into this if I had even if I made half as much as Josh Hammer probably makes, or even a quarter. What we could make this show, it would be quite cool. So stop giving your money to Jays and give them to me. Give me your money, please. Over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. And I do give you your money back. I try to give you your value back. I would hope to think you guys feel like you get $2 of value out of this. But if you don't, I at least try to give you something else. I usually do paywalled episodes. I do about 1 to 2 behind the paywall every week. Usually keep about 4 behind the paywall at any given time. For example, I'm getting ready to have Nick Bryant on this week, so at least that's a plan, unless it gets rescheduled or something. So hey, for the patrons, you can pop in for the live stream. You can ask questions. You can watch it, weeks before the pours, and also I give you an ad-free RSS feed. You get access to Telegram there. You also get access to the pre-show, the post-show, and you get to video call-ins for me and Austin's weekly live call-in show, Already Dead. And the highest level is my sponsors, and I read them off every episode. A big thank you to them. I have my previous co-hosts on Terror Gang, at Learner Toad, also at AbrogateDs, at ZOVRECK, at _Invisiel, Tim Tuttle, at Jolly on Cleebold, Willowbell's Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, big fan of the show, Torme, at Wayne Taculus, Catcher in the Rye, and Mark Vestibule. Love you all. I appreciate your support, and enjoy. Let me check. Let me roll the chat, see if there's anything interesting in there before we bounce. But other than that, I'll play the fun little outro for you guys. It was suggested by Nevsky in the middle of the show. I just happened to catch the DM, so you got it. But I don't know what it is. I hope you didn't like set me up to get this whole stream nuked, because I'll be really mad at you, Nevsky. I know we have some minor political disagreements, but that'd be pretty fucked up of you. So please don't do that to me. I'm gonna take your word for it that whatever it is won't fucking nuke my whole channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, tipster. Let me get to actually make sure. Let's get the screen set up first off. Let me see who else we got in here. Can't help you till you help yourself. Get a damn catch up. Says Fire Please. Got a picture of contest. No, do it. Or just like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll do it eventually. I got it. I literally have so much going on. I literally the news cycle won't let me. The news cycle has a gun to my head. It's like, no, you need to cover this shit. Fuck the QR code. The people want substance. They don't give a fuck about giving you money. Give them what they want. And you know what? You guys need to give me what I want. What I want is fucking money. I want fucking money. Give me money. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Don't take me too seriously. I try not to be too grifty. I'm just goofing. Give me money or starve. I mean, obviously I do want the money, but I don't like to be too grifty. I'm goofing. So I have kids, so supermarket gets all the money, says Justin. Yeah, I get it. For sure. I get it. I'm messing with you. I get it. Not everyone wants to give money to fucking... Jose's demonetized, so no super chats. Says Gerald Hall. That is true. YouTube fucked me. I can't do super chat. So help a brother out. God bless you, says Bhakta. Well, I guess it would feel weird, hypocritical to say God bless you, but best of luck to you, I guess. I don't know. God bless you too. I don't know. It feels weird almost to not just return but I appreciate the sentiment at least. How about we didn't donate in gallons of milk? I'd appreciate that. So. He said, I've sent a few things. Nevsky said, I'm about to play exactly what you sent me just now. So you'll enjoy this. All right. Enjoy this outro. I will see you all probably on Tuesday. I'll be doing a morning dump. And then also at night, I'll be having Radix on with me. I believe she'll be joining Already Dead to do the call-in show. Austin will be out. So it'll just be me and Radix and Jacob running the booth. But all right, guys, enjoy this.
We the Black Hebrew Israelites, nigga. We the OG tribe. We was clipping coins and shit till they boarded us up in the soul trains and sent our asses down to the galaxy gas chambers and all shit, nigga. Tribe recognize tribe. We done being kicked out of 109 cities and forced into the ghettos, nigga. Then just when we start to get ahead, our black spaces get gentrificated and shit. And when our cultural traditions get to be too much for the white folk, then they send the SS, aka the police, to send 6 million of us into concentration camps, aka the state penitentiary. We gotta escape from the Morpheus. It'll be glorious when we rise up victorious. Don't report me, just listen up when a black man speaks. I don't care that y'all are trying to watch the big screen. Give us reparations so we can make a killing. Y'all can't help but be racist when you're talking about black pilling. Black men like white women call it white pilling. I wish I had a white bitch android just like Krillin. The Holocaust of free in your mind ain't actually free. The cost so high, you see, we had to steal that shit. The backlash from the masses ain't no holler back on this Holocaust on the black back covered in lashes. We gotta push back in the name of Adonai, nigga.
The cyberbully. Go ahead, put that Burger King crown on.